Hi, everybody. Welcome to FNS Wrestling Podcast, episode 196. We are back. What do we say? Our palatial penthouse studio, right? To discuss another week from the world of professional wrestling. We will discuss AEW Dynamite, NXT, some Raw. I watched a bunch this week. TNA quickly. I did watch it. Did I miss anything else that we're going to cover? We're going to preview...
Dynasty.
AEW Dynasty, as they say overseas. I picked that up today, or this week. I enjoyed it.
Angelico.
And I do put timestamps if you want to jump to any particular segment, you may, because we start out talking about whatever. So, one update. We're baby stepping towards video working. I only missed like a few minutes last week. So this week, my goal is every minute makes it onto video.
All of the minutes.
So I think I found a way to do it. I don't know if it looks great, but at least it gets it up there. I think we should check in on our wrestling t-shirt of the week for the video listeners. I'm going Masha Slamovich this week, and you've got Bang Bang
Scissor Gang in spite of how I like that group.
You're not liking that group. You like the shirt.
I think the shirt's fun.
Update on the Jay White jacket.
It's in Illinois. It was in Chicago.
Which is in Illinois, but now it's just in greater Illinois, apparently.
I hate Chicago.
So that was ordered when?
February 2nd or something.
Was that a pre-order or was it? Oh, okay. Because I was going to say, how could it take that long?
That's part of it, yeah. But even just for the time for it to start shipping was a while.
It'll get here right when it's too hot to wear a jacket.
And that's pretty much what's going to happen at this point, which sucks because I was hoping it'd be faster. And I wanted it for March break.
No.
That's not the case.
So you got to hope for before, I don't know, it gets really hot.
Before the end of May?
And even, I'll give you mid-June before it's just wet and cold every day.
I could always wear late, or I could take it to work and then wear it on my walk home or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
I don't know. There's avenues.
So you won't care, but big news up here is hockey playoffs, I believe, start tonight. So the Maple Leafs are in. I don't really follow hockey, but I go and watch a lot of the games in Mike's garage with a bunch of the the street dads, and it's fun because they are super into it, right? And I'm just kind of there enjoying hanging out and chatting, and then we usually throw darts after. But they're live and die with this team. It was similar to you got to watch me with the Raptors in 2000.
That's true.
2019, right?
That was something.
And I let you guys. You even missed a day of school because of the Raptors, right?
I think so.
Because we were up so late watching the final game. I
think that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's every playoff game for them. So it's kind of fun to see. We'll see how that goes. So I'm going to head down. I think it's tonight. There's a game.
I heard you saying that.
And watch that. And you've got to work tonight. We're actually recording on a Saturday. So my energy will probably feel better, I think, because sometimes I get tired in my old age and when we do a late night record. So it is actually April 20th. And we'll be putting this out on the same day. So... What, 420? Ha ha ha. Yeah. So I don't know. Anything else you wanted to discuss?
Well, you're kind of behind on Bad Batch still, but you did catch up.
I did binge 3-4 episodes.
I'm surprised you actually did that.
Yeah, I enjoyed.
I've been loving it so much.
Well, I'm forgetting now, but the first one was a non-Bad Batch one. They weren't.
Oh yeah, that was 10, I think, where it was focused on Emery.
And
Connor.
now.
And then what was 11? That was the one.
Basically,
they come to Pabu and they burned it, and then Omega got captured.
Yes,
and 12 was where they rescue Rampart out of the thingy to get.
And Omega's plan is to be captured on purpose.
But Crosshair
because they can't find Tantus without.
Yeah,
and
Crosshair messed up, which makes me sad. And then
we didn't warn about spoilers this week. Sorry, people.
Oh yeah, whatever.
It's fine.
Fat chance people watching it.
Right.
But no, there's 2 weeks left, and I'm sad. I don't know. That's gonna be weird. I've actually been I was saying the Hancock, it feels like the reverse Mando to me, because I feel like the first 2 seasons of Mando, I felt like each of those, the season 1 and season 2 respectively, had an a overarching story, but each episode would have its own kind of thing.
Yep.
And they each felt like they had a point to it.
Yep.
Season 1 it was what Mando was kind of predicting. I don't remember exactly what it would be for that, but for season 2 at least it was he was trying to get Grogu back to his kind, or a Jedi, right? So, but it felt like both of those seasons had a point to them, and those are really good. I say early Mando is one of my favorite shows ever. It was fantastic.
I loved season 1.
Then season 3, I just felt like it didn't have a point, or it lost sight of that point, and it just wasn't good.
Yeah, I
Like, it was
remember not.
just weird. Remember this episode with Jack Black and Lizzo? Like, it was just weird, and the ending
Yeah.
was kind of lame, and like it just kind of didn't stick the landing. Whereas Bad Batch, I think both season 1 and 2 have had their moments. Like, there's been some episodes I really love, especially last season. There was one with like Crosshair and Cody.
Yeah.
Any Crosshair episode I really like. Or, like the finale of season 1 was really good. But I feel like this season there's like really a point to it with like the Clone Rebellion and like figuring out what the deal with Omega is.
Yeah.
And
I've enjoyed it.
I think Omega is actually a really enjoyable character now,
which is big for you.
because I loathed her
You did.
more than anything.
You did.
And I think Crosshair is actually like a legitimately good character now, because I always thought he was cool and he had something to him, but I feel like this is where like they've actually developed him
Yeah.
to a point where I don't sound like a psycho.
Less of a psycho.
Like, I've seen a lot of praise for him, and I'm these are all bandwagoners, right?
Yeah, you
I've been
were
on the
OG.
bus since season 1, episode 3.
You're a crosshair hipster.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I was in a
I
Crosshair
liked him
before it was
he
cool.
was cool.
That's true. Well,
Yeah.
he was always cool, but you
Yeah.
know, before he was like cool.
So I've
cool.
got what, one episode to and one episode
one
behind.
to catch up on, and then 2 more left. I'm hoping like the last 2 episodes are like, or at least the last one, are longer,
Yeah.
because otherwise I feel like it's
They are
hard.
quick.
It's
They
really
do
hard
go
to
by fast.
It's really hard to stick the landing, because
That-
Mando episodes are always like extended, or even like Ahsoka
Yes.
was like usually pushing 40
Yeah.
at least. So with these being like a standard TV time, basically, it does tend to fly by, which is why I like when there's like a doubleheader some weeks, or when
Mhm.
they put out 3 for the first
Yeah.
week, something like that.
Yeah, that's how I was able to binge 3 or 4 or whatever it was, because it's like quick, boom,
Mhm.
boom.
So I think you'll like, and we can check it out on when it comes out on Star Wars Day, is the Tales of the Empire shorts. Because I was saying to you, like when Tales of the Jedi came out,
Yeah.
I watched all 6 shorts in like an hour,
Oh, nice.
which is super.
Yeah,
easy.
that's fun.
like
that's
it's just
easy.
digestible. You
Yeah,
know?
exactly. And I'm using a new white microphone. If you video, you can see, because I have a microphone obsession, and I was
Yeah,
buying.
you do.
I was buying a $20 whatever this blue cable, and I, when you go to buy something and it's like, hey, customers frequently buy this, and this microphone was half price, so super affordable. And the only review I'd seen is my buddy Bark at Obscure Mics do it. He thought it was decent, so I grabbed it. I like it because it shows up on camera. The black ones, yours, it looks at times when I watch back the video, it's like we don't have microphones because they're black, and B, I suck at lighting and video, as we have established firmly.
As has been established.
So I don't know what I'm doing, but I stuck another light up there today, as you noticed. So maybe that's doing something. It's just, it's pretty much trial and error, because the space is super tiny and the equipment is super budget. So this is what you get.
That's what you get. I
Yeah,
mean,
we didn't want to do video.
We'll maybe improve. I am on record as never wanting to do
Same.
video.
And this is sort of, the world works this way, so we're begrudgingly appearing in video form. But anyways, let's get into talking about wrestling. The first segment we address is always taking a look at some of the week's wrestling news and rumors. All right, in the ratings this week, NXT averaged 625,000 viewers, down 3.4%, earned a 0.17 in the key demographic, which is down 10.5%. Both NXT and AEW were up against NBA play-in games, which you don't know what that is, but it's basically the first bit of playoffs. You have to actually...
They still should be called play on.
There's a mini thing to get into the playoffs that they call the play-in
Call it a play on.
as of like 2 years ago or something.
And call
like that.
those the play outs. Like, it's got to make sense.
Right?
You can't do one of
And
each.
if
You gotta
anybody
do
knows
both.
sports, it's you. So that suggestion
That's a
should
professional information.
be
Right
right.
there.
That is like, they should be.
That's a professional opinion. No one they consult a second opinion in doctors. I'm that second opinion right here.
You are a professional sports consultant for
Yep,
sure.
Exactly. Those are the words.
So Dynamite, 762,000 viewers, down 7%, and a 0.26 in the key demo, down 13.3. So both down slightly, but again, up against, they're always up against the NBA, or almost always, but not the play-in. That makes it different. What do you have? I've
got a pretty belt-centric news.
Okay. Oh yeah, you.
Well, those I'm saving for Highspots and Restholds, I figured, because
That
there's
makes
other
sense.
news.
Yep.
So, first one came as a surprise to me last Friday, which I don't think we mentioned because we were recording.
Yeah.
Is that
We were.
John Moxley won the IWGP World Heavyweight title from Tetsuya Naito at
I
Windy
think.
City Riot?
I feel like maybe you
We might
mentioned
have.
it. 'Cause
I
it
might have mentioned
happened.
offhand.
Yeah.
But
I think
like,
so.
I don't remember if we did or not. Just, it's interesting because I thought there was a possibility, and like
It almost gets another belt in AEW.
it kind of does for a bit at least.
But
And
I like it.
I'm
for
happy for
Mox.
him, and I
Me
think
too.
that's cool. And just because like I remember him saying like even if I win this, I'll still be underrated by people. I think a lot of people do underrate him,
Yeah.
especially for the time when he was like AEW's backbone. I think he deserves a lot more praise because I see some people saying like he just bleeds all the time and he
Yeah.
can't wrestle. I'm like he does bleed a lot, but like
It's crazy.
I think that shouldn't override how great he is.
It's crazy to think like we talk about this Dynasty card, and it's stacked with
But
talent.
he's not even there.
No Mox, no
Omega.
MJF, no Omega. Like
Hangman?
this roster's crazy. I would include Hangman.
Yeah, like
Crazy roster.
I agree. Yeah, so like I thought that was really cool, and he's like one of few Americans to win it.
Yeah.
Even if you throw in other gaijin like Omega and Switchblade and Osprey, like there's not a lot because what you could include him. I think I saw Lesnar's one,
Yes.
Scott Norton and Hogan.
Yeah, Scott Norton was huge over there.
I think Hogan as well.
Literally, and
Hogan was either like
he was big. He was so
he was beefy.
like I think that's the barrel chested. He was like
Yeah.
so deep from chest to
And
back.
Hogan was either the first or second IWGP champion. I think
Right.
I want to say the first.
Well, he's a great worker.
He was better in Japan, I hear.
Still
but-
terrible and a horrible
yeah.
human being as a bonus.
Anyways, Moxley, that's great. I think he does make that belt look a little better too. Like,
Yeah.
I really like the look of that belt on Switchblade,
And it's cool he comes back because it feels like he's been gone a while as like
even though it's
the
only
champion,
been since Revolution,
and he's like the champion of a big company.
I think that's really
it's
cool. Yeah, and then also on that show, I think TMDK cleaned house because formerly TM61 of Thorne and Nick Miller.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
right.
Which is retro.
Yep,
They won the strong tag belts, and then Saber reclaimed the world's ugliest belt.
he did.
I saw interesting note is because Riddle had that belt before, and Riddle's Riddle, right?
Riddle is Riddle.
So I think New Japan said it was his third defense
Yeah.
of that belt because he defended twice on MLW. But interestingly, he also apparently defended twice on Indies, which would imply without their permission,
Ooh.
which is interesting. Because, obviously, I think that's what part of why Riddle got released, right? Because he's kind of unreliable, we'll
Yes.
say.
Yeah, that's
So,
a fair assessment,
I would
think.
wager to guess that might be why Saber won it back. Because I don't know why anyone would want to hold that belt once, let alone twice.
They're nervous, with Riddle holding
Yeah,
it.
which is understandable because he's super talented, but like as a
is.
dude, he's definitely risky.
I remember his one like his flurries, right, are like somehow different from everybody. When he starts,
Yeah,
I don't know if it's his cardio or whatever, he does like a series of big stuff one after the other after the other.
I wish he wasn't the way he was. Like, 'cause he's not. He doesn't seem like a bad dude. He just seems like
Why are you
kind of
the way you
unprofessional
are?
or something like that.
Yeah.
I just wish like he was better like that because then he would get used so much more. Like if he was a more professional dude, more like reliable outside of the ring, he would get snapped up by AEW so fast.
If he were as professional as he is talented,
like as Danielson, let's say,
just as equal to his talent, he would be
that's
huge. Right?
Oh yeah, because he's great. So yeah. Interesting touches. It's good for Moxley, and I saw he's the first to get to the top of WWE, AEW, and New Japan.
Right.
So
That's cool because I've come around on him. Like I was like
he's been my boy since
indifferent
day
to kind of liking him, and now he's fantastic.
He is.
So I don't know if you heard this. I'm wondering if somebody new is coming at TNA Rebellion because there was like
I saw some
a lights
post or
out
something.
teaser sort of thing aired during the press conference, and then they followed up by posting it to social media with a caption of who will show up when the lights go out this Saturday at #Rebellion. So
I saw something say
wanna
Sammy
guess?
Callahan.
Who?
Bring Callahan back.
Sammy Callahan, I guess, and that would fit the lights out thing because that
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's what I'm trying to think. Like I feel like it should.
that's
because,
not a bad guess.
Because they're drawing attention to the lights going out, you have to think it's got to be someone who would fit that. Because otherwise, you could just do lights out and anyone could debut. You know what I mean? Like it could just happen.
That's a good guess. I didn't really think I
I
thought
don't
of
know.
anybody.
I can't imagine it's anything super interesting because it's
No.
TNA. This TNA
I
is
know.
not
I know.
a powerhouse.
And Grace sort of teased something too, like bringing somebody.
Yeah. I don't like. I could see Callahan. I don't know who else I could see because like if Cross got released, I could see him going back there. Because honestly, maybe Cross should go there. He sucks, and they would maybe use him.
Maybe it's Jinder Mahal and Indushir.
Yeah.
Was that in your
maybe.
news? Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, go
Well,
ahead.
Okay, so they released some. WWE did some releases. It was just Jinder Mahal, Indusher, Zion Quinn, and Xia Li. I know everyone is
Former
heartbroken.
champion,
From
former
WWE.
world heavyweight champion, and beloved Canadian.
He was former
Jinder
WWE
Mahal.
champion. His last match was challenging Rollins for the title.
Future Hall of Famer. Jinder Mahal.
The greatest Indian wrestler since the Great Khali.
Mm-hmm.
I do mean since, because Great Khali's a legend.
Oh, good boy, is he ever.
Yeah. And then Zion Quinn did nothing, and he sucked. Xylee was all right. She just never really got to do much.
Zion Quinn had the look, but seemed like he just couldn't pick up.
I remember his finisher was like a running form where he just had his arm out like
Yeah,
that.
he's an impressive looking guy, but it's like,
he sucks.
you got to do something. And Xylee, I kind of thought by the end was cool. They just don't know what to do with her.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fine. If you don't know what to do with her, then let her go somewhere else.
That is fair. Yeah.
Right? Like, it's not that you're bad or whatever. We just don't have anything classic, right? Like, we don't have anything for you. So,
yeah,
anyways.
that might be the case a lot of the time.
So Tony Khan sort of responded to the criticism he was taking for showing the footage from Jungle Boy and Punk's altercation.
Jack Perry.
And his thing was basically, listen, the network contacted me and we're super happy with the ratings, right? So it's just like,
That's fair.
yeah, it is one perspective to have. Like like I said last week, we're using him as a tool to get ratings and to maybe get Jungle Boy over, which we may talk about later.
Which seemed to be somewhat successful at the New
Right.
Japan show.
Yeah. I have a couple other things. Do you have anything?
Rhea Ripley vacated the women's world title
Yeah.
on Raw. I think it's an AC joint sprain, so it's shoulder related. They're likely out for 4 months, and they're going to crown a champion in a battle royal on
And
Monday.
so is it? Because I've been hearing it's possibly storyline and real life when Liv threw her into
That's
stuff.
I saw that's what it was from, and I thought that was the storyline cover.
I think it's both.
But I think it seems like it's both, which is interesting.
It does. So I'm going to revisit that when I talk about Raw later, because I had a question for you based off of that, I think, but we'll get there. And then Sheamus, so I was going to talk about him there as well. He's responded. He took some heat for his physique.
Little Mott.
I
get
agree.
it, but like...
my comment was,
see it, but
as
like,
an observation, he definitely wasn't in peak shape. He's still in better shape than 90 whatever percent of the world.
I saw like something saying he got like, he's saying like he was preparing for the draft and got called up too early or something.
That's exactly what I was going to say, that he was planning, right, to be back in shape for the draft, and he got called up early. I told you, like, they put him in a tough spot too, because they had him wrestle Ivar,
which I think is a dumb choice for 2 counts. Because 1, you were saying that's a heavy guy to be lifting around, and
he's doing like an avalanche white noise,
right? And the 2, also because they're trying to build Ivar as a threat to Obafemi on NXT. So
right.
did Ivar really need to lose there?
And you could
have
have picked so many other people.
Yeah, exactly. Zion Quinn.
So he was definitely like exhausted and really, really sweaty, but like, give the guy a break.
Yeah,
honestly.
and like, honestly, if I was gonna flame him for anything, I would flame him for his boxers.
Well, yeah, his ring gear.
His ring gear looked like he was just wearing green boxers, and I didn't love it.
First of all, how many people have ever been in as good a shape as Sheamus is here, out of shape? And then how many people have ever been in great shape and then had suffered
been
like
injured,
huge injury?
And then you have to like work your way back.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I see the difference. Like I've seen people post the comparison. Like
he's still a hoss.
I see
man.
it, but like it's not that bad.
No, he's still
a
hoss.
He's been in that shape before. Like,
right.
He hasn't always been in the cut shape he was. So like, give the man a break.
And we enjoy, like I always say, I enjoy Shane Taylor because he looks so different. Like that's not a body type you see.
And Sheamus is bad, and like I've never loved Sheamus, but like he's good when he needs to be. So show the man some respect.
He is a super. Like, it sounds
he's
insulting.
He's really good for them.
He's a very useful guy to have on a roster.
He's really good for them too, because I don't know if I see him in like AEW or something.
If you need to elevate him, you can,
like
or you
Gunther,
can just linger
or like
anywhere
against
from
Gunther,
upper mid to main event, right?
And I don't know if I see him anywhere else, so I think he's found a good spot there.
Yeah.
I also have Sheamus up here.
Yeah, so be nice to Sheamus.
Yeah, be nice to Sheamus.
I only have one other.
Adam Cole's been pulled from the travel loop as he hasn't been on TV in a while. Or like at least there in a while, because traveling on the road was apparently slowing down his process, so he's been recovering at home just to kind of like recover as normal, which makes sense. And honestly, I don't need, if he's gonna be doing what he's doing right now, I don't think I need to see him.
That's a fair point too. Like, go ahead, go take your time and rest, because this is a DOA gimmick they've saddled you with.
Yeah, have Roddy.
I don't mean DOA, that WWF faction.
I
could. Similar. Actually, yeah, I do. Because it sucked too.
Have Roddy bear the load, I guess. Poor guy.
Yeah.
And I ate no Wardlow either, so that's good.
That is true.
Like, this is another positive.
The last thing I had, you saw a bit of NXT with me, and remember how confused we were by the Charlie Dempsey?
Yeah.
So we're what do they owe him for? What is going on? And then it's like Gulak is dead, basically, right? So the WWE apparently investigated Ronda Rousey's claims about Gulak and the drawstring incident. So he's gone. from WWE programming.
That
He's
just
been
seems weird to
he's
me.
been murdered by the family.
Your baby face. Your baby face.
Correct. Well, I guess babyface-ish, or I don't know what they've been doing.
Well,
with it.
he's been trying to act babyface, and now he's fighting no quarter. I almost said new catch. This is getting ridiculous. No quarter.
No quarter catch crew.
Yeah.
Sans Drew Gulak.
Quarter catch or whatever you want to call them. But like they're heels, so Tony D'Angelo's the face, and he just killed a man.
Murder. Yep. So
And also him going for the cup is weird. But like, yeah, they're just killing him off. Like they Eric Young him or something.
and so without that background information, we're watching going, what?
Well, I'm even asking you because you
I'm,
should know.
And I'm
And
trying
like,
to remember, like, did they borrow money off of him for something? Was there something?
No, that was Chase U, right?
I know.
There was the whole university
Yes.
thing in the tag titles.
Which, but anyways, so Brian Alvarez basically said something like, both of them they investigated, both said they had witnesses, and all they know is Gulak's the one that's gone, right? So whether it's the reliability of the witnesses or what they said, seems like Gulak is gone.
That's
Actually murdered.
interesting.
Yeah, and I think it put Dempsey in a rough spot in that promo too. Like I thought it was
Dempsey,
not his best work.
yeah, Dempsey's good, so hopefully he survives.
I felt like it was like he knew what he was doing was people were going to be like, what's happening right now? And he didn't do the best job. But anyways, we'll get there. I have nothing else.
Last two is on WWE.com. They changed it so that now Cody Rhodes is referred to as undisputed WWE champion.
Okay.
The Universal. So it seems like the switch back to the WWE title has finally.
It's official.
Yeah.
It is the new era,
Which
right?
Cody said he was going to do. Yeah. So
Did you hear it's called it's the PLE era? Paul Levesque. Plus they've switched it to that.
Well, the PLE's been that's interesting
for a while.
The
Yeah.
Paul Levesque era is so stupid.
I think
It's
that's like
so
your
stupid.
Renaissance era. It's not happening. Neither of those are going to stick.
Renaissance era makes sense to me.
It does.
Paul
but,
Levesque era, it's like
but that's because you're smarter than the average
that's
bear.
true. And yeah, so like that's interesting. I just think we need to drop the undisputed because I agree it's the undisputed WWE title, but I just don't like it being undisputed if it's not one title.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it is like undisputed in the fact that it's like WWE Universal. It was, but like
It is disputed because
it's now disputed because of Priest or because of Rollins,
right.
Or
whoever.
it's been disputed.
Yep,
And
that's a fair point.
It's just dumb. WWE title's fine. I don't even care if you keep the gold belt. I would like it to revert back to the black one, just 'cause I think it looks more normal.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to keep that design, fine. Just change the undisputed text on the belt and change the name. We're good.
We're good.
Yeah, like it really doesn't need to be that complicated, but just the undisputed is not necessary. But I'm glad at least they cut for now the Universal because mouthful.
I know.
I remember having to type AEW Interim Women's World Champion.
Just
be
like me and always forget what every title is, and you never have to worry. I just stumble until you finish it for me, and then I'm good.
Then finally, belts, many belts.
So many belts.
Tony Khan did confirm that the match on the AEW Dynasty 0 Hour between the Acclaimed and the Bang Bang Gang will unify the ROH 6-man and AEW Trios belts.
And will lead to the dissolving of ROH. Was that anywhere in there?
It should. We need to start killing off.
And I hate to say it, man. I'm a wrestling fan, and I've liked ROH in the past and the not so distant past. And I
think we
don't know.
We need to old yeller it. We've been saying that.
I don't know what its function it is serving.
I think that's also how you could bring Athena in the fold. Have her unify the ROH and AEW women's belts.
Like, can it be making money? It would basically solely be off of the TV contract. Because what other revenues coming in?
Is just the
Merch,
subscription thing.
A tiny bit. So,
but like, what would be interesting if they unify all the belts is that Billy Starks just won a new belt.
anyways,
I mean, you could. So you unified those trio belts. You unify Athena and Storm.
Yeah.
Billy Starks and Julia Hart or Willow, which she wins the belt.
Should be.
I agree. Undisputed Kingdom and Young Bucks.
I don't want to spoil all my picks.
Mark Briscoe and Swerve.
Oh, you're just giving it all away here.
No, I'm just kidding.
It's fine.
Is there another belt? Oh, Pure can go with. I would say you unify the Pure with the Continental, and here's why: because Continental has no interference. So is that not the most fitting?
That is the most pure of them. Yep.
And then you go ROH TV and TNT because those are TV titles. Yeah. And the international title just doesn't have a counterpart, which is fine.
Yep.
But like you can unify all those belts and
book it.
kill that thing, throw ROH on AEW subscription thing, push that out,
Done.
and I can watch old AEW.
Company saved.
Boom. Book it. That's all.
it. All right. Well, we'll move from talking about news to talking about the week's wrestling we pay the most attention to, and that is this past Wednesday's episode of AEW Dynamite. All right, tell me about Dynamite.
Dynamite.
I mean, I watched it. You don't have to tell me, but remind me. Is fair?
Like you just watched yesterday.
That's true. I'm actually pretty good about it. And I will say we were not fans of last week's episode at all. I would say it's one of the worst ones that I can remember. So I was very hopeful for.
I think we picked up.
Wouldn't be hard not to improve. Would be
That's
hard
true.
not to improve from last week. So, yeah, started off with a bit of a surprise for me.
Really?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to see him here.
Oh, I knew he was. I follow things, so
I don't. Well, I do, but not obviously not that much.
So we start off hearing from IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Jonathan Moxley. He talks about how he won one of his first titles in Indianapolis, where they are. He said, being great isn't about what other people think. It's about what you believe inside of you. He said, this is the IWGP Championship, and the fans chant, you deserve it. Mox claimed he's been chasing this title for 5 years. He spoke about how 5 years ago people thought it was impossible for him to win it and show up on Dynamite with it, and it's not impossible. They knew what was inside of him. He said this is what it's all about, and AEW is about proving the doubters wrong and showing the world how good you are. He shifts focus to the Don Callis family, saying they are talented individuals, but Don Callis is a creep, and they've kind of been buying what he's been selling. Mox said they tried to put a hit out on Danielson, and he said they might as well put a target on him too. He said he told them to come find him because he'll be here all night, but he doesn't think they will, so he'll pick the biggest, baddest one to fight. And so he challenges Hobbs to a match at Dynamite next week, which is in Daly's Place. Yay!
Oh, right. That's good.
I love Daly's Place.
Yeah, it's a good venue.
Moxley said that Hobbs will accept. He said Hobbs will learn that Callis is feeding him lies, and he can't touch Mox. He said there are a lot of good wrestlers in the world, but only one John Moxley.
Yeah, it was really nice to have Mox back. And while a bit of a roller coaster, I thought some parts were awesome, like classic Mox, a couple lulls along the way, because it was pretty long, right? Like pretty lengthy.
Decently.
But still good stuff, man. He I feel like they were doing the similar thing to last week with Edge, right? But I think it's more meaningful coming from Mox.
And it
kind
felt
of like
more
a
natural.
raw.
Like, it felt more natural because he just won a title and he's like kind of coming back like triumphantly. And
Yeah.
it felt because Edge, it felt very like clear to me that they're trucking him out to respond to that. Where Moxley, like,
Correct.
if you had just saved it for this, like, I almost wouldn't think anything of it.
He's more like, here's why
Also,
this
he's been here
company's
the whole
awesome.
time.
Here's why this roster's awesome. Here's why you should feel good about liking AEW. He gives you that vibe, and it's awesome.
Yeah,
Right, he's
that's
super
kind of what
good
Edge
at
was
that.
saying, but I feel like Moxley just does that.
And this week they did. That was one of my problems last week, right? It felt like it was just like addressing WWE like 3 or 4 different times, and this week they've stepped away from that, which I'm glad.
Yeah.
And so I thought Moxley, this was a better version of what Edge tried to do
For
last
sure.
week.
Honestly, to the point where I wouldn't even make that connection, really.
Yeah. No, this was good.
Great to have Moxley back, and for some reason it just feels like it's been a long while, and I think you were saying
Yeah.
like it's just because he's such a constant presence.
Yes.
And like in a good way, not like Jericho where he's like a pest that won't
Right.
bugger off. Like I even wrote here, I wish Jericho would take an absence. But Mox is still Dynamite on the mic. I felt like a lot of this was to establish like also he's a face again,
You're right.
which
Good
like
point.
feels somewhat random, but also Blackpool is just kind of able to do that, and I
just
don't mind.
Flip flop.
I don't care.
Or they're like undefined rather than
But
saying
they're
flip
not-
flop.
They're not undefined in a way where it's like Jericho, he seems indecisive. Blackpool's got like this very real feel to them,
Yeah.
so to speak. Just like with the way the faction operates. Like sometimes they fight, sometimes they're teaming, sometimes they're not. They're
Yeah.
just like very like kind of, like you said, undefined.
They're like
doing-
fluid.
yeah. And I like it because it doesn't feel unnatural. Like kind of like the joke is Big Show's turned a million times, but they don't really turn. They just kind of like, their line
They're-
just kind of subtly switches here and there. Like it's just weird.
They're
but-
violent guys, but they're not always like dishonorable sort of
Yeah,
thing.
they're not always without morals.
Yeah.
And I think it's also what is kind of interesting and maybe realistic. Even,
Yeah. It's cool.
is that it's a case to case basis too, like because
Mhm.
they were absolute ruthless bullies against Hangman, but then like they're good guys in another feud, or like their heels against they were just feeling like FTR or
Yeah.
something like that. Or, like in the Continental Classic, Mox and Danielson are kind of like
very malleable group to
it's
have.
just it's interesting, yeah. But this seems kind of like setting him on babyface for
It
a
did.
while, and that's fair because it's kind of like a triumphant comeback, and that's fine because like again they just switch whatever, and it's all good.
Yep.
I'm happy he got the title. It's a really cool thing for him, and now he's got like that so-called triple crown of world titles
Right.
from the big three, I guess.
He's done it all.
Hopefully he gets more due respect because he doesn't always. And that includes myself. Sometimes I don't I never expected him to win this title.
Mhm.
I didn't think he would beat Punk when he squashed him. Happy days.
Yeah.
Or
was a
like
joy.
I didn't expect him to beat Cassidy either. So like
Right.
there's a lot of times where he just wins stuff and I'm like, oh okay.
Yep.
If he wants to have a little run match against the Callis boys, I'm all for it. Hobbs and him could have an interesting clash next week, so I'm looking forward to that. And I remember like he actually brought Hobbs in when he was feuding with Brian Cage, which is crazy that Cage was a world title contender when he came in.
Oh, that's right. He always is, and then he's not.
Yeah. No, that's Archer. Archer, they've heated him up multiple times just because they need someone.
That's right.
And that's when Hobbs joined Team Taz. So that's interesting that Moxley was factored into that. I didn't remember.
Lance Archer is now the microwave. He heats up fast. That's a basketball term for guys that come in and score like right away.
So there's some mystery here, which is cool. I'm happy we also get another Data's Place show, which I'm surprised we're going back so soon because I feel like we just got one with like that was when they had that Sting match that we hated.
Oh yeah.
Against Takeshita and Hobbs.
Yeah.
But I love the venue. I think it's really cool and unique. So
and it's like signature AEW.
It is. I like that they have a signature venue.
Yeah, me too.
And it's not like because even WWE goes to Madison Square Garden, I'm not gonna give a crap because it really doesn't make any difference. It doesn't look.
It just looks like a packed crowd.
It looks packed.
Daly's Place, it's the open air. It's the
it's like
just,
it's
sometimes
the crowd
the lighting
different.
Depending on time of day.
Got some natural lighting. Yeah, there's the ramp is like coming from diagonal spot like to the ring post, and also there's like. Well, I'm not usually big on that. There's some sentimental value to it because we were watching them there through the pandemic the whole time. So it's cool that they come back and they can have like this packed house in there.
Right.
And it is a very different feel. So I love it a lot. I really want Mox to run it back with Takeshita, maybe even for that belt. I don't care if Takeshita loses. Just I want it.
That would still feel fresh to me, even if it
remember the second match that caught my eye with Takeshita was Mox when Mox was interim champion. Because I remember the first one was Hangman, and then there was Mox, and then I remember they had a rematch, so we could do a third one.
Yep.
I'd love to see that. But solid promo for Mox to start us off. I'm glad he's back. He's my boy forever and always. Then we get a Mercedes Moné promo. She says she wants to pay back whoever attacked her last week. She accuses Julia Hart of doing it because she's always doing things with the lights out, but it might also have been someone who wanted her to think that and doesn't want to face her at Double or Nothing, which seems like a shot at Willow.
Mm-hmm.
She said she's putting the division on notice, and she'll be watching the mixed tag match. She says there's a price to pay when you mess with Mercedes Moné.
Yeah, so I thought it was kind of mean to put her directly after Moxley because she's not exactly in that at that level. But last week I thought was one of her roughest ones, and this wasn't that bad. And I think because it's more focused a little bit.
It was more focused. I also thought the ending line was a good play. Yes. Like it's a good catchphrase on her name if that's what you want to go with.
And because she kind of suffers from what The Rock did at times for me, where it's like too many catchphrases and little things, like one after the other. This one, she just saved one for the end.
And I like that one.
So I thought this was better. I still don't think it was great, but a lot better than last week.
Yeah, I thought it was fine, and she sounded better than her pandering babyface promos. I don't like that she's assuming a woman attacked her. It could have been anyone. I think there's a good chance Malachi Black spin kicked her in the dark.
Could be.
So let's leave that door open.
Right. Exactly.
Interesting.
Cut off half of the suspects.
Yeah, like
you don't need to.
It could very well be. Or like, what if she got crossbody by Brody King against the wall in the dark? We don't know.
No,
but there's no way to know.
Would you be alive still?
Okay, so that eliminates a suspect. Then I take it back. Then we get Adam Copeland and Willow Nightingale versus Brody King and Julia Hart in a mixed tag. During what's supposed to be Willow's entrance, we get a video on the Tron backstage. She's been attacked. Oh no.
Yeah, it's a pretty classic wrestling trope.
Solid.
It doesn't really
Lights
bother
go
me.
out. Brody King attacks Edge from behind. Edge is seated on a chair against the barricade. Brody King hits a running crossbody against the barricade, which looked perfect.
Unbelievable.
It was awesome. And I think something about doing against the LEDs too must hurt a little more.
He's so fast and so big, and he hits it so beautifully. I was telling you, it's one of my favorite signatures right now.
Chop exchange. That to me, it's better than Macklin's thing in the corner because Macklin's thing in the corner never really.
Oh, I think it looks good.
It just doesn't.
When he hits it, it looks good. I think.
I don't know. Impaler DET from Edge for 2. King cuts off a spear attempt with the big lariat. He misses a cannonball in the corner. Then Willow comes marching down. She gets the tag in. Middle rope crossbody to King. Edge spears King. Then Willow hits him with a cannonball, which I thought was cool.
Yeah, that
Even
was.
did his taunt and everything.
Yeah.
There was a time where she
Oh
did
yeah,
that
she
a
like
couple
barked
times.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I swear she's done that before too. While Ref was dealing with Brody, Hart hits Will with the chain, then locks her in the Heartless for the win. I thought it was solid for what it was, and it's an interesting perspective where it's like, it's kind of weird that they made it not a mixed tag, but I'm also kind of grateful.
I put that I basically got a good singles match instead of a mixed tag I didn't really want. So
Yeah, but that's something
same
like
thing.
it kind of sucks that it wasn't like as advertised, but at the same time, I'm kind of thankful for that.
I like the choices they made here, right? I did get that singles match, which I liked. I thought it was good.
I thought Brody got to look good for sure.
And then Willow gets to come out and get a really good reaction as a babyface to set her up, right? And then Hart is trying to establish herself as the heel because the crowd cheers for her, but we also love Willow, so it has to be like she's evil, right? So I think that helps. And I got to watch Brody King, and I love Brody King. So I made a note of something we were talking about. So this is a glimpse into what we talk about sometimes. Do you remember what we were talking about in this match? So I will say the line, and you just go. Butcher to House of Black.
Yeah. Butcher was like, we were saying Butcher and Brody King would like be a killer host team. Just with how tatted Butcher is.
Right,
like,
that's how it started. Remember,
I think so.
I said
you were saying they would be a good
Brody
team.
Lee. Brody King. I can see some skin there. He's really doing a terrible job of it. And it's like Butcher, and then wait a minute.
Yeah, and that would be great. And I was saying like Butcher just like visually, aesthetically probably fits with them better than Murphy does.
Oh, he does, but
and then you were saying
it all lines up.
Malachi's their top of the card, which in AEW I think he could easily be a top of the card guy. You just got to book it.
Yep.
You got Malachi Black, and then international, or even like if you wanted to give there, because they got enough mid card belts for Black, but like we'll say just for structurally,
yes,
Black is at the top. You got Murphy as your mid card, and then Haas tag team Butcher and Brody King.
I love it.
Like, why not? And then you got your women's too.
Yep, exactly.
Easy.
It's all
Easy
there.
Like that would totally work. Just like visual, I think Butcher would fit too.
And then the Elite gets Monet and something else, and we have
Jack Perry,
right? And then you have your big
heel on heel,
because you always need those group feuds for the matches, whatever that you're gonna remind me.
You have to turn one of them babyface though. So
could be like a Stadium Stampede or
you can always chuck in Blackpool, although they're gonna be down at 3 pretty soon.
Yeah.
If only Claudio had somebody could call in to join Blackpool.
Who could he?
Oh, that's so weird.
We were talking about that too.
Yeah,
we did conversation.
I think it was probably during the Claudio Ospreay match. I mean, or like if you someone without knee pads who wears kick pads.
Yeah.
Like, he might be a little rusty, but like you could bring him in.
You could. I know. Tyler Rust, yes. Everybody that regularly listens knows where that was headed.
But anyways, I like this as like a pseudo singles match.
I did too.
Brody looked good, so that is great, and I like when he can showcase what he can do because he's a really cool big man.
I still remember when we saw him at that indie show.
He just looked like a normal dude.
A normal dude walking around with glasses.
He's one of those guys where it's weird that he's a normal person.
Because I mean, he's huge.
He's huge, tatted out. He's in this dark, spooky faction. Why is he a normal person?
He also just looked like a regular guy. You could go up and be like, "Hey, man," but yeah, he was cool.
Well, you did kind of talk to him.
I did a little bit.
It sucks Willow didn't get to do a lot, but I thought she at least got that cool response and the cool moment getting offense in on Brody. I think that was nice.
It was a well-designed match.
Like Hart gets a cheap win, so Bill gets heat on her, so that's fine. And I think she'll probably lose, so she gets the last laugh here.
Yeah.
Renee gets a sit-down interview with Samoa and Joseph. He said Swerve was a nuisance that kept coming back for more after he's been repeatedly putting him down. He said Swerve has come up short for championships he's contending for over and over. He's been choking. He said he'll destroy his opposition and cement his legacy as the greatest AEW World Champion. He calls Swerve a choke artist, and he'll be the one to choke him out.
Yeah. Joe's a pro, man. Right away, he put Swerve over.
I thought he did a really great job of putting Swerve over as a persistent threat while also maintaining the badass character he's worked to
He's
create.
like, you keep getting up and you keep getting up. But that's
right,
because
like he made the point that he's put Swerve down repeatedly because he's a badass, but Swerve also comes back because he's a badass.
Yeah, and Joe is awesome. Sounds great, but we talked about it. Like, I think calling Swerve a choke artist and saying you can never win the big one is a little maybe telegraphing.
That's okay though,
I'm still not
because
sure.
like, I think it has to be that, but it just sucks.
Because you don't want to say that and Swerve's red hot and then that exact thing happens.
That's almost like not beating a dead horse or like
But then
fuel to the fire. I don't know.
But then the third side of the coin is, but if that happens because it showcases Hangman's obsession with him, then I'm still okay with that too.
I'd say you book a Swerve Hangman title feud though.
But his whole thing is you will never have it. I think it's too late at that point.
I think they could still feud because Hangman could want to take it from him.
Yeah.
But
like his whole thing was you will never touch that title.
I think you can't keep pushing this back.
I know.
You can't.
I know. I'm still. We're gonna make our predictions at the end of this episode, and I'm still a little hemming and hawing. So,
rest of this was great too. Labeling Swerve as a choke artist helps to underscore how important his title winning moment is.
Yeah.
And also does telegraph it, but also makes it feel important for him to not choke.
Mm-hmm.
If this is the end of Joe's time as champion, what a beautiful few months it's been. It's a run we never expected, but one I think was needed. I think he's been nothing short of great and menacing the entire time, and I think he steadied the ship for the world title scene at least.
Yes.
If not to help AEW as a whole get steady, but at least with the world title scene, I feel like he's really like steadied things out, and he's set us up for great things because he's paved the way for Swerve and Ospreay to take us to new heights later on.
And I think he's modeling too, like how you are a professional champion sort of thing. And that might be part of what's swaying me a little bit is because I kind of don't want
I really
Joe's
want
reign
Swerve's
to end.
moment to come, but I
both
also
somehow?
yeah, is there a way to dispute this? Like,
yeah, Joe's been great.
Joe's work's been it's so good that I
just
almost
steady, you know.
The biggest compliment I can give him is that his work's been so good. I almost don't want Swerve to win.
Right, same.
I'm excited for this match and for Swerve
too.
because Swerve's awesome and he deserves this.
He does
so much. But I'm gonna miss Joe's work dearly.
Mm-hmm.
What's the thing? Don't cry because it's gone.
Smile because it was ever there or whatever. Yeah.
So it's been a good run if this is it.
For sure.
Then we get an FTR package, but the Bucks cut it off, which I thought was funny. Matt says the show's stacked, so they have to cut it off, but he'll put it on social media, which I think they did.
Oh, yeah.
And Nick says they'll beat their friends tonight as a Dynasty tune-up, and they've perfected the ladder match. Okada says Pac won't make it to Dynasty, and he's a dead man.
Yeah, I didn't hate this.
I thought it was funny.
It was kind of amusing, and
keeping Okada limited is also
I still don't know if I love the tone for like a top act, but yeah, this wasn't, and it was quick, so I didn't mind it.
I thought it was amusing, and this is not a bad way to.
And they just keep finding ways to like, we are in charge of this show, right? But TK
not
was an accomplice now because he was sitting there with them.
Yeah, and like at least it's not like overstepping your bounds because you could do like something. Because whenever WWE does like a wrestler that's an authority figure, it's always like overbearing, like the Authority or the Corporation or Constable Corbin or something.
Currently, even a little bit.
Yeah, so I feel like at least with this, it's like they're just kind of it's sticking to their feud, and it's also like these little bits here, like we're cutting off your package or we're gonna air this footage because we can,
right?
And so it's like at least not this overbearing thing that's really annoying.
No,
you know what I mean?
It's not like if this were Bischoff, he would have himself like 6 times throughout the show.
Right. So at least I like that they're kind of containing themselves.
Yeah.
So it keeps it to a minimum, which is what they didn't do with MJF.
Yeah. You're right. They didn't.
Which is another reason why Joe was able to kind of stay the ship because MJF did great, but it did kind of start to.
I remember I was frustrated on certain episodes where it was like too much.
It was getting messy. So Joe was definitely stayed that, which I don't know how he circled back to that again. Next we get the Elite versus Daniel Garcia, Penta El Zero Miedo or Pentagon Azul, and Pac. Pac's in soul kicks to the gut and a running single leg drop kick to Nick because that's what he do. Garcia hot tag flurry. He takes it Okada and Matt on the outside, then he gets blindsided with the running PK from the apron that Nick always does, which looks awesome.
And again, the camera work was great, right? Because it just kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I love it. We come back from commercial break and Matt's doing some commentary on a live mic, which was whatever. It's never my
least favorite part of this.
Yeah, it's never my preferred thing because it's been done a few times. It never really works. Pac hot tag flurry, some snap Germans that were sweet. Diving double shotgun drop kick from Pac. Okada hits that neckbreaker move over his knee to Pac for 2. Like it's kind of like the air raid crash, but like a neckbreaker on the knee. Penta breaks the pin with a kick to the head. Penta gets a hot tag flurry later on. Made in Japan to Okada for 2. Nick breaks that pin. A flurry of moves commences. The most notable was like Pac coming in with a beautiful slingshot cutter to Matt. That was
Yes.
perfection.
Yes.
Garcia got a near fall on Okada with a jackknife pin. Okada sticks Garcia with the tombstone, then Penta takes one as well. Garcia eats a double super kick and a rainmaker for the win. Then he takes a nasty EVP trigger post match.
Yes.
And then the Bucks go to take him out with a ladder, but Pac chases him off with the bell hammer, which is a nice callback.
Remember how well Garcia sold the finish? Like
He looked dead.
I was a bit worried, like that he was.
Yeah.
Because the way he took the pin, it was like his
His
body
head was still
kind of tense,
up.
kind of thing, and that's usually a scary sign.
sure.
But I thought this match was awesome, and it kind of takes me back to when AEW was firing on all cylinders, and we got these matches almost every week, and usually in the opener, right? That's what this felt like.
Yeah, this was super enjoyable.
So it kind of made me angry that this division, the trios division, hasn't really panned out.
Yeah, I'm hoping that at Dynasty the renaissance begins.
Because they have the talent for it. It's a market that's not being covered in North America, right? Like WWE's never going to do this.
Even New Japan, I never see much buzz about their
No.
6-man tag.
So anyways, I thought Pac looked incredible in this match, and I thought this was super fun, and it felt like the old days. And yeah, Garcia's selling of the finish helped too, because I thought he was hurt. So good job. I thought this was great.
I thought it was a great TV match. Yeah, really enjoyable and a lot of talent I like in here. I felt like it got time to breathe too and had some stages to it. Like we had enough time, I'm pretty sure, for each of the baby faces to get like a hot tag.
Yep.
Which says something. Like, and not in a bad way. It just means like we had good enough time here. There was a lot of great action here. I thought Pac and Garcia really shone in this one, and Penta was great too, but he just stands out for being really blue.
Yeah.
Okada and the Bucks were good as
So
always, and they killed Garcia at the end, which was awesome. This was fun. This needs to be what the trios division is like when the Bang Bang Gang win the belts, because we all know that's how it must go.
That's right. That must go that way.
Jericho and Hook staying in the ring with Taz. Brackets, yay, ...
Mine just says Jericho tries to gaslight all of us.
That he did.
Yeah.
We'll get
Did
there.
I use that right? Fellow kids?
I think so.
Yeah.
Well, gaslighting's not, is that?
Like you're trying to convince that the reality is not the reality that happened is not the reality that
you're trying to convince someone of another reality.
Correct.
Like, yeah, gaslighting is an interesting thing.
Yeah.
It was funny. I think what was it? And then one time in math, I kept trying to gaslight Liv. It was funny.
By what?
I don't remember, but it was just like, I don't know.
She's too smart for that.
I'd like to gaslight someone. It'd be funny. Anyways, Jericho said he pulled Hook off the apron last week because he thought that Hook wasn't listening to him. Why would he? Jericho said he's doing all this for Hook. Jericho told Hook he was the learning tree, welcoming everybody in AEW. He crossed paths with us, gone to the next level.
That's the
Let's
part.
rhyme it off. What was he saying?
Yeah, go
Moxley?
No.
No, because Moxley's already there, and Moxley needs nothing from Jericho.
Nothing from you.
Jazz?
Who's better off?
No one.
Right.
Where's Guevara?
Right.
Oh, wait, he got suspended. I forgot.
They're all at the same level or
worse. Inner Circle. MJF, benefit nothing. Oh, Orange Cassidy.
Yeah. But did he help them?
That was Orange Cassidy's first notable feud. I'll give him that.
Oh, the champagne stuff.
I will give him Orange Cassidy.
Yeah, okay.
I'll give him that one.
Generous.
Credit where credit's due. But like, what? So MJF and Inner Circle, not Pinnacle. I guess Pinnacle, where he worked with them. Jazz, Moxley. Who else is he feuded with? Like Danielson?
Andretti. Helped him out.
Ricky Starks.
Yeah.
Adam Cole.
Right.
When Cole came back.
Either people got
Blackpool. Remember that feud lasted like forever?
Either
Eddie
people
Kingston
got huge because they were undeniable, or he did nothing for them.
Yeah. And like
basically.
What was it? Oh, Omega, Golden Jets sucked.
Yeah.
I swear he did some other thing too. I don't even know, but like
I think that's a good list.
That's enough. Anyways, he helped nobody other than maybe Orange Cassidy a little bit. But even then, it took Orange Cassidy a while. Like there's a big amount of time between Mimosa Mayhem and an international title Orange Cassidy.
Mimosa Mayhem.
Like there's a big gap between there. So to really say he did that much, like me giving him Cassidy is like even still, you know.
But he seems to be a heel here, so I guess it makes more sense.
But I just hate him. It's not.
I know.
Like
yeah,
I don't care if he's a heel. It's go away heat regardless. It's not. I'm not gonna hate him because he's being effective. I hate him because like just bye.
And me, who barely makes a peep at any wrestling show, was like
We were just
very loud,
actively hating. Yeah, we don't usually pipe up.
And I think it was partly because the people beside us
Oh,
liked him.
absolutely. If
By partly, I mean mostly.
honestly, if we were a little closer at Forbidden Door, I would have started piping up about Punk just to piss them off. Because you know, I live for those kind of things. I like to
contrariness runs.
I like to stir people up
family.
sometimes when the situation serves it right. Jericho says he knows he can get Hook to the top. Hook said he didn't need Jericho's help. He told him no, which is good. Jericho told him not to be stupid. Taz spoke up and he kept telling him like, you need to stop, which is really weird.
Yeah.
He said he's giving Hook proper guidance like Taz should have done. He told Hook to get rid of the dead weight that has been surrounding him for a long time. He said Hook's not ready and he's not as good as he thinks he is. Taz spoke up again, so Jericho shoved him down, and Excalibur was mentioned like he has like a knee issue or something like that.
Taz just looks like a giant brick at this point, like a brick with a head.
He does. Hook on Jericho's face, like shoved him against the turnbuckles. He said he'll show him how good he is anytime, anywhere. He told him to get out of his ring, and Jericho was kind of like trying to get act on she just kept telling him to get out, and then the fans were doing like the nah.
They were,
and that was really funny. But then we're getting these guys at Dynasty. Yay.
Yeah, I don't really believe that like after what Jericho did last week and then shoved his father, that Hook would just be like, "Hey, leave." Like I don't think that tracks with what I know of Hook at this point.
I mean, I guess it's his dad.
Like you hurt, but he didn't do anything about it. I'm saying he should be instantly throwing Jericho around the ring.
That's what I was expecting.
Plus, they already had a match where Hook just absolutely
dropped him on his head 15 times.
So regardless, why do I need to see it again?
Did Jericho get better in like 3 weeks?
Yeah, did 50 whatever year old Jericho find the fountain of youth in the last month? So I don't know, man. This and Hook's whole like doesn't really talk thing, fine, but it's not.
I think he sounded solid.
But anyways, it's Jericho, so I struggle.
Yeah, Jericho lost me when he tried to gaslight me. Even people he merely feuded with, he helped. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, what did he
help? But again, heel.
No. No. Because I guarantee there's some sprinkling of truth there. Not truth, but like real sentiments.
He's trying to be the heel that there's a kernel of truth when really he's the delusional heel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and like, I don't care if this is him like being a heel. It's just like, because I know for a fact he's done nothing but the opposite. That I want him to go away. Him have it. Like I wouldn't be surprised if he's gonna take partial credit for Hangman because he faced Hangman to crown the first world champion. So is he partially responsible for Hangman's big run? Like is that what we're trying to say here?
I don't know.
Is that like too far fetched from what he's like? What are we? Where's the line?
I know.
Where's the line? I get it's kayfabe, but like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if it's not far from the truth or how he truthfully feels is what I mean. I'm glad Hook's finally like outright saying no, because no thank you.
Yeah.
I thought him eating chips while Jericho was talking the whole time was kind of funny.
That is part of his thing.
I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
I like that he stood up to him, but I do wish he kind of got chucked around. And like he came across well like when he spoke, but we don't need this match again. Hook absolutely wrecked him last time. Why? There's
almost no chance that the second one's better than the first one. Because that's exactly what I wanted to see, and I already got it.
The only way it's better is if Hook absolutely destroys him. Because Jericho did like
extra 5 minutes.
Jericho did like the bare minimum of offense. Remember, so like if this one's a complete squash, it will be better
to the point where it writes Jericho off TV for 6 to 9 months. Yeah,
365.
Anyways.
I'm gonna invoke this. I would like Hook to Cody Rhodes him, a la Brody Lee.
Yeah, there you go.
And the crowd singing goodbye to Jericho is hilarious.
Or Moxley and the Mox Punk. Yeah.
CM Punk him. Yeah, whatever you want to
call it.
Too
much Jericho talk. Move on.
That's true. Renee sits down with Swerve now. He heard Joe call him a choke artist, and Renee said she didn't agree. Swerve talked about how Joe was right about him stumbling, he's fallen forward. He talked about the things that have happened to him over the last year, and he's still here. He said that's his military background, and he'll never quit. He said this Sunday at Dynasty, Joe will be calling him the new champion. Renee asked him what makes him think he can beat Joe, and he's going to talk to him later tonight.
Yeah.
I thought this was good, and he responded well, but I feel like there wasn't a lot to it.
And it wasn't, I want that intensity. Yeah. He finished with it like the last few seconds.
But then we're also getting more later, so I feel like that meant we got less here.
We get the physicality later, so just quick words here. Swerve's awesome.
Peraza versus Mariah May is up next. I didn't catch a lot of it. There was a big layer from Peraza for 2, pump kick for another 2 count. May connected with a quality headbutt and then a hip attack in the corner and tornado DDT, so that was a nice sequence.
It was.
The finish was kind of lame, though. Peraza countered sunset flip pin into one of her own, and she picks up the win.
Yeah.
Like, that's the second time a Mariah May match has ended like that.
Yeah. I like this. I thought there were a couple of issues for sure, but
Thunder Rosa after, whatever.
I thought Deanna looked better than she has for most of her time here, and it just felt better than the standard women's match we get, but in a way similar because it was like felt like it was back in that spot.
Yeah.
It's about the same length.
I thought it was good, but I feel like it had some more left in the tank because I think both of them were good. Like, I know Peraza's good. And I think May is pretty solid.
And it's always hurt by the commercial break because the matches aren't that long, so you're missing a pretty decent chunk, right? I find. But yeah, I thought it was fine.
Post-match stuff was fine, but I'm really not invested in Storm versus Rosa.
No, me either.
And I wrote it's probably fighting Jericho for my least anticipated match.
It's like a snack break. I'll be making food probably during that one or something.
I'm already
calling I'm pretty hyped for that show.
I'm calling it right now. I'm not gonna have much thoughts on that match when we review it.
Right. It'll be quick. I think I'll do the half-ass cell phone notes. I enjoy that.
Bullet Club Gold interview. White and the Gun show Renee how to say bang bang gang the right way. White talks about how great things have been lately. He suggests a winner take all match at Dynasty for the belts that 3 people hold.
I didn't even comment on the quality of it. I was just happy that this is the path we're going down to absorb these titles and in the process focus on them more. It's a 2-part plan. Get rid of one set, focus on
the set that's left. Yeah.
Yes.
Solid promo from White and the boys as always. Part of it felt like they really wanted to emphasize Bang Bang Gang over Bullet Club Gold. Cause I feel like they're still loosely that, but they're like
rebranding.
They're really been axing it, which kind of I'm kind of indifferent about it because on one hand, I just like referring to them as Bullet Club Gold because Bang Bang Gang all the time is a little weird, but it's also funny to me.
Yeah.
And also, Bullet Club's kind of a dying star, so
that's right.
I think it's also kind of fair.
I agree. I think they're trying to just
and I think Bang Bang Gang's a solid like branch off from Bullet Club Gold because I think that's obviously where the whole Bang Bang thing will come from is bullets and guns and whatever.
They can go BBG.
Yeah. Baby girl.
If it were WWE, they would already be there.
They would already be there, yeah. For sure. Or they would never do Bang Bang Gang.
No.
Finally, we get the match set up that I've been asking for months, pretty much since that super group started.
Yes.
Or since they won the belts, at least. If Bang Bang Gang don't win this, I don't know what hope is left for the trios titles.
I agree. I think it has. I think you've given away all your picks pretty much at this point throughout the show.
Most of them.
But I agree. I will be disappointed if not that we don't like the Acclaimed, but I feel like that ship has sailed a little bit.
I think so, and I'll talk about it because they're right after here. They accepted the challenge. Billy said he beat Jay White's ass the other week. He's been doing that to the Ass Boys since they were kids. Caster challenges the Guns to a tag match on Collision before Dynasty. So yeah, it was a fine follow-up. I'm glad this is finally nearing an end. And like you were just saying, to follow up on that thought, Acclaimed are still a good act, I think, but I feel like personally, I still like them, but the ship has kind of sailed. And also, I just don't think they're what the trios division needs.
I prefer them as a tag team with Billy Gunn.
Exactly. I think they're a great tag team with Billy Gunn, but I don't think they need to be trios. And I feel like the fact that they're the longest reigning champions kind of bothers me.
Yeah.
It's time to load up the Bang Bang Gang on some gold, and have these guys go back to the tag division because that's totally fine with me.
I agree.
I think in a perfect world they would have already dropped those belts, and also like they would drop them at Revolution in this unification, which we could have done at Revolution.
Yep.
We had a bigger bracket. The Acclaimed are in the tag tournament bracket because I'm not letting that go.
We circled back around to the disappointment in the tag tournament.
The horrible, horrible disappointment that was that tag tournament bracket. I'll rip on them for that for a while because that, like, I remember picking Sting for that to win that match.
Yeah.
And there's such hope and promise with, and with AEW, I feel like it's not false hope because they're not going to purposely let us down. Like, they could have done better. I think it's just like, because it's not like they always let us down like that, which is partially why I'm gonna bitch about it so much.
They're not doing things to spite us like WWE.
It just feels like an actual disappointment, you know what I mean? So anyways, that was solid.
Yep.
Next we get Orange Cassidy versus Shane Taylor, which is an interesting combination. There's a draping center from Taylor, which looked pretty cool. Moriarty beat Cassie down on the outside when the ref wasn't looking. Stun Dog Miller from Cassie, and then he takes out Moriarty and Ogogo with a suicide dive each.
Yeah.
Taylor connects with the big lariat for 2. Finish comes when like looked like he was going for a power or something, and Taylor connected with one hell of a knee lift.
Oh my goodness.
Rocked him. Absolutely
Crushed him.
rocked him. Cassidy came back with an orange punch that staggers Taylor. Taylor responds with a left hook. Also looked amazing. And Cassidy hits another orange punch for the win. The orange punches look good too. Like they had a really heavy back and forth right
Really
there.
stiff.
Moriarty attacks Cassidy after the bell. Cassidy is pronounced dead after an Ogogo gut punch.
That's right. Remember you were typing and I'm like, you're gonna acting like you were gonna miss like Punk's debut on Dynamite or something.
like a drill claw.
Yeah.
And then so then Christopher Daniels and Matt Sydal ran down for the save, but Trent cut him off with a steel chair assault. Then Taylor leveled Cassidy with another right hook, like just rocking him.
Because he is a boxing background, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes, again, we've said it with
like
kicking
Petrovic.
people. Yeah.
Or something like that.
Sometimes they'd struggle to pull
Or
punches.
Shane McMahon, because he was a feared fighter.
His look nasty.
Yeah, and then Moriarty Moriarty locks him in the Gargano escape, because I don't remember what he calls it. But it's the Gargano escape. Either.
Yeah, I mean, for what this was, I kind of enjoyed it. We got
I thought it was really good, yeah.
A lot of Shane Taylor offense, which I enjoy because his stuff looks really snug. And then I thought the finish was pretty fun, and there were some really good strikes. That knee strike was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I thought for what it was good.
For sure. I thought, and I know you like Shane Taylor a lot.
I do.
I thought it was a great little TV match here. I'm not complaining. I'm surprised Shane Taylor Promotions get on TV 2 weeks in a row, but I'm not going to complaining because I like them aside from Ogogo.
Yeah.
As far as Taylor's showing here, if you want someone to look good, you'll find few better opponents than Orange Cassidy, and he's probably your best option with Darby Allin out injured.
Yeah. Thoughts on Trent? I was going to ask you.
I'll get to that in a moment. Actually, Taylor looked killer here. His strikes were lethal. He had a couple other cool things too. I thought the draping stunner was also a really cool looking move. That knee especially was a knockout. And so yeah, Trent's involvement in the post match intrigues me. I like that, because with what he did here, I feel like it's interesting because I'd be interested to see what his motives are. But it's like, so with him turning heel, Statlander's with Willow, Chuck's injured, Cassie has no friends. So I like that Trent's kind of preventing him from having any other friends to save him.
Okay.
So we're going from best friends to they even made a point with Cassie's entrance, he's all alone and Trent's keeping it that way.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see why he's doing that.
Okay.
Because I think it's interesting that because he didn't attack Cassidy.
No.
He didn't join in with Shane Taylor Promotions. He just stopped
Other
from
people
helping
from
Cassidy,
helping
which I think is an interesting route to go. Cassidy went from having all of his best friends to now Trent's making sure you don't have any friends.
And was that where did Trent throw the chair at the dude's head?
Sydal, yeah.
Yeah. Is that who it was? Sydal? Yeah.
And so I think we're getting Trent Sydal on the pre-show. And then
that makes sense.
Shibata and Cassidy against Taylor and Moriarty. And so I'd be interested to see if Trent goes after Shibata then to really make sure to isolate Cassidy further.
And it kind of gives him stuff to do before he gets to...
Yeah. And so I'm interested to hear Trent speak. I feel like there's some potential here. I'd like to see what he does.
Okay.
And I like it as he's trying to cut off Cassie from any friends now.
Mm-hmm.
It's he's not friends with Cassie anymore, so he's no friends.
I'm glad I asked your thoughts.
So it'll be interesting. I don't know. Because he could just beat him up with a chair, And I like also, just to talk about it a little more, is just you can see the stare down with him and Taylor and them for a second, because they're wondering if he's gonna do something.
Taylor's facial expression was awesome, kind of oh, he's not coming. Okay,
yeah,
well,
and then
let's kill him.
Yeah, so I like that, and
yeah,
so I like that because Trent kind of gave them a moment, and then he's like, I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
He just came to take out those two, so it'll be interesting to see where that goes further for sure. We got a quick Kyle O'Reilly promo package. I think the gist of it was Strong saying he's the one that'll decide if Kyle does it alone or not.
Yeah,
I think it was because he wanted Kyle in there, but he was gonna do it alone. So Ryder's fine, you're doing it on your own. We're kicking your ass, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's so.
And this will all end a Dynasty. It was a solid little package. I love both these guys in the ring, so this one has great potential for me.
This is a little sleeper match because some people I don't think maybe don't know the history, because these guys should have
or
chemistry.
Just Kyle O'Reilly might be under the radar since he's been gone for so long.
Yeah, and he didn't do a ton when he was there. If you're
he beat Brian Keith.
That's right. Who the only person I'm pretty sure Brian Keith is otherwise undefeated. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, for sure. Next we get Will Ospreay versus Claudio Castagnoli. Claudio caught a Hurricane Run from Ospreay, transitioned him into a backbreaker, which is nice. Claudio, so like Ospreay's lying near the ropes. He runs and hits a jumping double foot stomp, and he's like standing on him until the ref counts 5.
That looks good.
So that was kind of cool. Claudio catches Ospreay, slings a plancha, 10 to the outside, and turns in like a tilt-a-whirl slam on the apron, which looked crazy. Ospreay connects with that handspring corkscrew enziguri, which always looks perfect. Ospreay gets Claudio on the sharpshooter, but I really liked it. So like Claudio's kind of like grabs at his feet and perfectly switches him into his own sharpshooter, which I thought that was really cool. Interesting. Same time there.
Jinx, you owe me a Coke.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. And he's done for the rest of the show, folks. You're welcome.
All right, I owe you the Bouier pomegranate Gatorade.
Yeah, that's right.
If I remember, G2, right, whatever. Ospreay tries to get out. Claudio switches into a crossface until Ospreay rolls him into a pin for 2. Tiger bomb from Ospreay connects for 2. Ospreay counters the Ricola bomb attempt into a Hurricane Rana for a near fall.
What are you smirking?
Remember you complained about it and them saying countering the attempt?
Oh, I did. Yeah, I didn't like the redundancy of that. Countering, yeah. You're right.
I just remember that in the moment.
Because I think countering implies the attempt was there. So you don't need to say the attempt.
Claudio catches Ospreay out of the Oz cutter and sends him down hard with a burning hammer. Like, it was a flat landing, but he sent him down with force.
Yeah.
But I rewatched Ospreay Takeshita the other day.
Mm-hmm.
I could have mentioned it in Highspots and Restholds, but I rewatched that, and I also watched Cole Gargano from TakeOver New York, which is probably the best NXT match.
Oh yeah, I wanted to
the real best NXT match.
Easy now.
That's crazy. And just the Takesha's Blue Thunder Bomb out of the Oz cutter is wild every time.
Yes.
Anyways, Ospreay looks for the hidden blade, but Claudio meets him with the very European uppercut for 2, which is the pop-up uppercut, which looked awesome.
It looked good.
The finishing sequence was awesome too. Claudio goes for the swing, but Ospreay counters it by like kind of using his core strength to like work up into a DDT out of the swing, which was really cool. Cause
I don't know if anyone's ever countered it.
Which is, yeah, at least like once you're swinging.
It looked crazy.
Yeah, so that
I don't
was
know how
awesome.
many people could actually do that.
Yeah, so I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
He goes really fast up with a leap of faith, which he messed up on Hobbs, but it looked perfect here. Which like that
awesome.
Corkscrew senton from the top, which looks awesome. He called it like the Cancun Tornado did Excalibur, or like they called it the Sky Twister last time. It's the leap of faith.
Okay.
I know what the Sky Twister is, all right? I'm no fool.
One of those things that annoys you.
And so that came for a near fall, but Ospreay is immediately back on his feet. Beautiful hidden blade for the win. And I was saying to you, I miss the Stormbreaker because that's a really cool move too. And
I think he's saving that
for
like a title win or something.
Yeah, I hope so. Maybe the dancing match, we'll see.
Could be.
Callis family jumps Claudio after the bell. Moxley makes the save, but he gets swarmed by them. With Claudio's help, he takes out Takeshita and Fletcher, brawls with Hobbs, and that's about it.
Awesome match, man. Claudio looked fantastic here. And like it's one of those like the result is never in doubt and it's still awesome.
It's still a quality match.
So imagine if there was a build and a whatever and it was in doubt.
Danielson.
But several reactions and rewinds from us, right? Which is a way to say that's an awesome match.
For sure.
Hard hitting stuff from Claudio and then just like perfect execution from Ospreay, who just keeps stringing together awesome matches since he got here, right? Mm-hmm. So I think the aftermath is setting up the departure of Ospreay, right, from the Callis family.
Yeah, that's fine because we know that. I feel like they've drawn it out as much as they can.
It's
I feel
almost
like
you have to do that.
Double or nothing, you get the split somehow. Ospreay Takeshita 2.
Let's go. So yeah, awesome match.
And I say if we do Ospreay Takeshita 2, you get a little ballsy with it, and you have Takeshita kick his ass.
Wow.
Not kick his ass, but I mean have him win.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
I'm saying because Ospreay, like, I don't mind if he lost like once or twice before he wins the title because I feel like to get the undefeatedness out of the way is essential.
Yeah.
Unless you have a plan for the undefeated streak, like Jade or who am I thinking? Like not maybe Breaker, like a Goldberg or something like that. You know what I mean? Or like Walter. We'll say.
There you go.
If you're not planning to go undefeated for a while, or like Jay White was undefeated in singles matches for a while,
like, get it out of the way.
Yeah, like I think it's good to get that just to like. So then it's like after Takeshita beats him, it's like. Not completely impossible because right now I feel like we're in a period where he's not losing.
No,
right?
I don't think so.
So I think a Takeshita Ospreay rematch could bring about his loss, and I'm okay with that because that would be a big.
Then you put them at 1-1, and you can circle back to the
when Ospreay's champion, you get Takeshita. That's how you could elevate Takeshita to world title status, which would be awesome because Takeshita is a world champion in the waiting. I
sure hope so.
And for if you're saying he can't talk, it doesn't. Brock Lesnar was champion in a way champion forever
throughout history. There's been guys who say little.
Yeah, so like, and
Callis is a great mouthpiece.
Callis is like you can do a Heyman Lesnar thing with Takeshita, and
You
Callis.
can.
So that's, I think, what you need to do. But back to more of the point, I thought this was a stellar match. I liked it a lot. Ospreay delivers once more. He has not missed. I enjoyed the styles contrast between these two, but also they have a lot of similarities as well in how their striking game is and whatnot. Claudio really got to display his strength, the crazy strength he's famous for. So that was awesome because he's always so impressive.
Ospreay said afterwards the strongest guy he's been in the ring.
Claudio is always crazy, and sometimes you forget that. I could watch Ospreay wrestle every week for as long as he's capable, and I'd be happy. Ospreay versus Danielson going to go crazy, but also we have Danielson, Claudio versus Takeshita Fletcher. That'll be a appointment view on a collision. It's a bunkhouse brawl too, which
we're gonna
AEW
find
is
that.
Famous for quality no DQ tags, so
check that out.
Yeah, for sure. Because I think there was a bunkhouse brawl that was QT Marshall and Dustin Rose against Butcher and Blade, and I remember liking that.
QT Marshall.
I remember we enjoyed that. So if that was good, this is going to be awesome.
Yep.
So we close the show where we hear from Swerve Strickland in the ring. He was asked about how he believes he'll beat Joe for the title. He said Joe had fear in his eyes the other week, and when he held the title in the air, he said Joe was scared because he knew Swerve would win the title. Joe came out with security guys trying to stop him. Swerve jumped off the top rope and on the security guys with like a swerve stop.
Bowling pinned them.
Yeah, it was all right.
So it was a little cheesy, and I didn't like the contact part was kind of funny. Not funny, but like it looked okay. But then everyone felt the problem was they stayed down forever.
Mm-hmm.
Like even the outside bowling pins were like down for another 5 minutes.
They started brawling. Joe sent Swerve in the steel stairs. Joe was like mocking on with the dance and looked like he was gonna go attack him, but Swerve caught him with the boot to the face. House call. Swerve went out top. Joe tripped him up, busted his muscles.
He did.
And Joe celebrated the AEW title to end the show, and I was getting a kick out of chanting "bust his muscles."
Yeah, you do. You were right into it. This didn't get a ton of time because I think they were in overrun already.
I want a Joe shirt that says "bust your muscles."
Kind of a standard go home attack altercation, and I think
it's another way to effectively build this though.
It is, and the Joe standing tall with the title is sort of another indicator.
Yeah, you were saying at first like Joe Swerve standing tall is weird, but then he got his muscles busted.
And then Joe holding it makes you think that it's probably Swerve taking it, I guess. I thought it was a solid segment.
I was saying wait for Swerve to hold the belt again.
Didn't really change anything for me, but just sort of reminding you this is the main event on the way out.
Swerve comes off well again. I think he looks stronger than the Joe got the last laugh here. They've done pretty well, I think, in making both these guys look badasses, even though when they're juxtaposed to each other. Because it's hard for them to both look killer when it has to be at the expense of one another. But I think they've done a really good job.
Yep.
And I'm excited for this and what must be Swerve's crowning moment.
Agree, I think. So overall, I mean, I'm super happy they rebounded with a really good episode this week after one of my least favorite last week. So in-ring, really strong.
I thought, the in-ring was a huge pickup.
Main event, awesome. Trios match, awesome. Mixed tag, that was basically a singles match.
Women's match was solid, and both Taylor Cassidy
was fun too. I thought Mox's segment was really good. Monet sounded less bad, as mean as that is to say. And Joe and Swerve got the right amount of attention, right? Kind of sprinkled them throughout the show and ended with them. So I gave it a B+. I thought this was a really good show. Easy watch, I thought.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was a pretty solid show. I think the in-ring quality was definitely up, or at least felt like it was. Opener was solid. It worked because it wasn't the full mixed tag. Trios match was great. Women's match was solid. Taylor Cassidy was good. And main event match was great. Mox had a really good opening promo. And then Joe and Swerve were sprinkled out nicely. But other than that, I think there was a lot of notable segments. I thought Jericho and Hook wasn't good. Bangman Gang claimed were short. Monet was fine and better, but not great. And Bucks were funny cutting FTR's package. So I think it's like you make a Jericho Hook segment, replace it with something better.
Yeah.
Weird.
Lost the light.
I think it's one more good segment away from a B+, so I'll give it like a close B.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds reasonable. All right, so we will switch into a little bit of trivia in a segment that we have every week where I challenge Jack. We like to call it Off the Top of His Head. All right, so there won't be a ton of questions this week, but it is a new topic and it's timely. So we're going to go Rhea Ripley trivia. And we'll just go with the first question right away. Like nothing happened. We definitely didn't have you muted for the first two questions and re-record this.
There's no issue.
So you didn't know this one, but you did work out some math. So it was, and we are having to do this again because I'm dumb. It's the audio problem. Usually that's not the issue.
That's usually not the issue.
And I'm going to have to cut that video now too. I just realized that as well. Oh, that's going to be work. But anyways, it was how long was Rhea Ripley's reign? You guessed 120 something days.
Yeah.
And then I gave you the options, and the answer is actually 108.
Rough ballpark.
So you got pretty close. Then I asked who she debuted against in the Mae Young.
Some rando.
I already ruined that question because I said it's someone I'd never heard of. It was Miranda Salinas, which I don't remember at all. But anyways,
I do remember Ripley fighting Tegan Knox, but that might have been the 2018 one.
Right.
I'm pretty sure.
So 3. Now this one you haven't heard already. Who did Rhea defeat to become the inaugural NXT UK Women's Champion?
Storm.
Correct. Toni Storm. Very good. Who did Ripley eliminate in the 2023 Royal Rumble?
To win?
I think so.
Liv Morgan?
Yeah, I assume that's what they meant.
I was going to say, if there's a one-person answer, I would hope that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's just like, who did she eliminate? Just pick one.
Which wrestler ended Rhea's reign as NXT Women's Champion?
Charlotte.
Correct.
Pandemic Mania.
Oh, it was.
Remember, it was that weird trip where Charlotte won the Rumble and chose to face her and then beat her for no reason?
Oh, that's right.
That's kind of what she was avenging last year.
Who was Ripley's partner when they won the tag team championship?
Liv Morgan, I think.
No.
Oh, wait, Nikki Ash.
Correct. Oh, wow.
I forgot about that.
How dare you? What place does Rhea rank on the list of women Grand Slam champions? So I guess like which number is she? How many are before her? You know what I mean? Poorly worded again. So you would have to think. And what are they considering Grand Slam? Just...
I don't know. I'd have to just rough guess it. I feel like Charlotte would be one. Bailey would be one.
Becky?
Because
No.
she didn't win the NXT one until
Right.
recently.
Oh, that's why she was just back there. Yeah. So she would be after her.
Sasha, probably. Because she won. I would assume it's NXT, both main ones.
I think so.
Tag.
Okay.
Because Ripley is also the UK, but there's no way that counts for anything.
So Charlotte.
So Charlotte, Becky, Sasha. Not Alexa because she didn't hold the NXT one.
Paige?
Paige?
No.
There's gotta be someone else. Who else are we thinking here?
So
There's not a lot to hold both women.
The options, because it'll just clarify that you're right, is 4th, 5th, 6th,
I'm going
and 7th.
4th. I feel like it has to be.
So it's 5th. So I don't
Who
know. It doesn't say
else?
who the 4th one is, and that's now going to consume your life, I'm sure.
Who else? I mean, like who has held both women's belts? I'm just trying to think right now.
Put a pin in that and
There's
think
a
later.
short span of champions because what it would be: Sasha, Charlotte, Alexa.
Maybe they're wrong.
Sasha.
Triviacreator.com /quiz/
Can't
whatever
be
the rest
can't
other
be
suffix.
Ronda.
Nikki? No. Nikki Cross?
Asuka.
Asuka. There you go.
It's Asuka.
Nice. Okay. Which
Good
of
bunch
these
for
women
Asuka.
were not on Rhea Ripley's team for the 2019 War Games? Not on her team. Tegan Knox, Candice LeRae, Bianca Belair, Dakota Kai.
Belair
That is
was
correct.
against her. It was because that was the one where it was Ripley, Mia Yim, LeRae, Knox. Yim was out because remember she had that ladder match and she got her face busted or whatever.
Right.
Or she went through the ladder bridge or something like that.
Yeah.
And so Dakota was her replacement, and then that was when she did the heel turn. So that took her out.
Love that heel turn.
And then that was Baszler's team was her, Kaylee Ray, Belair, and Io.
Oh, Kaylee Ray.
That's a killer team though. Baszler, Kaylee Ray,
Yeah.
Belair, and Io.
Yeah.
Io. Like so
That is a killer
was,
team.
So Belair was on the other team.
I wish Kaylee Ray could go to AEW. Or sorry, what's her name? Alba Fire?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ripley's final match in NXT took place in January 2021 against which woman?
Gonzalez, I think.
It is
New Year's Evil,
Gonzalez.
I
Why
wanna
would-
say.
That's crazy.
So I remember them having like the Haas feud kind of deal.
Yeah, that's true, I guess. Last one. Who did she defeat at WrestleMania 37? What a hard one to win
Asuka.
the title. Asuka is correct. You smashed it. And we're going to
Smush.
move on into our next segment where we go back to talking about the week of wrestling. Anything basically notable, I guess, is the best way to put it, that we watched this week. We like to call it Highspots and Restholds. All right, so the first thing I was going to mention, because I showed you, because I'd never seen it and you'd never seen it, was a Mustafa Ali promo that got him heat on, what was the show you said?
Raw
it was?
Talk in like the Thunderdome era.
So it was amazing. I thought it was incredible. It was like Retribution clearly it was early on because Mia Yim was still in it, right?
No, that was Mercedes Martinez.
Oh, right, that wasn't in it for long. But yeah, it was basically him ranting about them wasting 3 hours on old wrestlers that could barely walk. And like, I get that they pave the path for me, but when do I get to walk
That
that
was
path?
the best line.
Which I thought was awesome. And he said that a couple times. And just like, it was frustrating because it could have been so good, right? Like,
it could have been something.
The promo he made there was amazing, and it was just the way they handled everything else basically was terrible. So I thought it was really cool. A few things from Raw. I don't know if you got anything from Raw.
I do, but I think it's probably similar.
Go ahead then, because I do a lot with the other stuff. So
that's true.
What do you got?
Well, first was, I guess, mine Restholds was they revealed new world tag titles for Awesome Truth, because now I guess they're getting rid of all the branding on the tag titles, which is fine.
I didn't love them, but
and I don't know if you can see it on my screen. I have it up there. It's not back, it's still around, and it's got the side plates on there finally, but like I'm not sure how well that'll come up, but
I could try and I can put an image in. I am decent at doing that.
And I'll do it just in case. And then so like they're all right. I don't hate them. I don't love them. I think they're okay.
I'm not.
When we get to SmackDown, we got much better belts.
And that's there. The problem is you have a direct comparison, right?
Yeah, we have much better belts over on SmackDown. Then I think my tab's not frozen.
We already talked about a couple. Ripley vacating the title was one of mine.
That was one of them. And then I guess Sheamus is
my other one was Sheamus had a match with Ivar.
There it is. Okay.
We talked about that.
Highspot was DIY won a 3-way to get a tag title shot next week.
That match was cool.
It was cool. I saw like the finishing sequence where they shoved Brutus Creed off, I think, and a super kick, and then they superplex from
the sudden superplex from Julius.
Elbow drop to Julius from Woods. He sits on the pin, but then DIY connects with me in the middle. I thought it was a really great use of the DIY's finisher.
Really fun match.
And cool for them to get the win.
Yeah, I thought that match felt like a different style from what I'm used to be honest. I thought it was
good, yeah. And then
really good.
Big high spot was Zayn and Gable's IC title match. Great TV match by main roster standards, and it's an interesting spot where you're kind of rooting for them both a lot because they both have these really great family-rated, sympathetic stories.
Good match.
And great drama, high tension. Zayn eked out a win at the end. Gable did a really well done heel turn afterwards too. Also, Zayn's entrance was really good, following him through, and like the crowd entrance. Then Gable's heel turn was really well done, where like Zayn's hugging his wife, and then Gable just grabs him out of there, German suplexes him.
And this
is
him,
after in the post, there's like an ankle lock. He raised his hand too.
He was like in tears. He raised Sammy's hand, and then he followed him out and turned.
And I've heard the speculation is putting him with the Creeds to form like Team Gable, which would be awesome.
Yeah.
I think that's a IC title winner if I've ever seen one.
Yeah.
But that was really well done, and Sammy's awesome.
Raw, parts of it are pretty good. It's too bad it's 3 hours, man. Like, I'm checking out most of it every week now. There's some good stuff going on. It's nice to see. We always said we just want good wrestling, so as the further Vince is in the rearview mirror, I feel like the better it may get. So NXT this week, quickly, I think the opener was my favorite match. You didn't see it, but it was Noam Dar taking on Dijak. Dar is so good, man. He's just, I told you, so believable as the little guy that can beat the big guy because he's so fast and so much technique that he has. Really good TV match, got 12 minutes. I was surprised because Dar picked up the win. Dijak split his attention a minute to kick Mensah off the apron and then right into a Nova Roller. I was surprised
too, but I'm happy.
Me too. So Nova Roller, it's over. At one point, Dijak caught Dar in like a World's Strongest Slam grip and just walked over to the ropes and threw him. And the crowd, it was a really good reaction. Really good looking missile drop kick from to Dijak into the ring steps outside. Really good opener. We had Ava telling Dragunov that since Trick and Mello are having a cage match, Ilya's going to have a match, and it's going to be an open challenge match, right? Ava's still not good, but they're keeping her role pretty small. Like, she's not good at this, but again, it's Rock's kid, so they have to find a role for her. Tatum Paxley says she's always had to make people be her friend. So she's doing this crazy gimmick, obviously. She will always be there for the title. So she runs down a whole list of champions. Guess which one she conveniently didn't mention? Who would they not want her to mention? One of the longest reigning.
Baszler.
No.
Asuka.
No.
Mandy Rose.
Correct. No mention of Mandy Rose.
Hmm.
She said at one point she wanted to be Lyra. Lyra broke her heart. Lyra's nothing
Why
to
did
her.
Lyra break her heart? She lost?
She lost. So Paxley's saying, I'm obsessed with the title, not the people.
So is she going to be friends with Perez then?
So now she says that Roxanne's the cool girl in class, but she wants that to be herself now.
Okay.
And that Lyra's in her way to go get the title for Roxanne. So that's how they're putting stakes on the feud, I guess. And I thought this was clearly they have some interest in Paxley, because this was like produced with B-roll, with like little kids on swings and like stuff, special lighting.
Like actual some effort put in there, you can tell.
Correct,
Yeah.
exactly. So crazy is this like ubiquitous gimmick in wrestling, but it doesn't mean you can't do it well, right? And
yeah, it can be done well for
it
sure.
can
like
be.
Broken Matt Hardy is a crazy gimmick.
One of my all-time faves,
Yeah.
right? So she's trying really hard. I think she's doing a decent job. So we'll see where it goes. Then we get Sol Ruca, Lola Vice, and I would say these are two of my favorite of the new crop. Like, I think these two actually have talent and are developing really well and have something. So, and two commentaries say that too. Like, this is the two of the new era sort of thing.
Women's North American title was coming in, so.
And I kind of didn't know who was going to win this match, so I like that too, right? Ruca basically dominates the entire match. Vice only gets in a few kicks and a hip attack, but then Davenport runs in, knocks Ruca off the top right into whatever Vice calls the black mass. I don't know. So Vice wins in 4 minutes. It's more about the story, I guess, than the match, but I thought these two are pretty good. Ruca's standing moonsault is awesome. She's nailed it twice in a row now. And anyways, Natalia appears on the Tron, says Lola cost her a title shot last week, so she's going to meet Lola on her turf in her match. So in
Why
2
is it
weeks,
her match? When did she ever have the match?
because it's MMA-ish adjacent.
Yeah, but was that not...
So that's Vice's match, I think.
Was that not Thorpe's?
Right. So in 2 weeks at Spring Breakin', it's the two of them in what we're calling appointment viewing, because NXT Underground match.
You were right. It is Spring Breakin', but next week is the contract signing, because we found out it's a 2-week thing.
Right.
So that's what
Spring Breakin' is 2 weeks, so this could be a disaster. So
I very much.
And I like Lola Vice. I think she's good,
but she's not that good. She's not. You're gonna get something on Natalia good.
It's going to be interesting. So I'm looking forward to it.
It will be interesting.
NXT Anonymous, which is like someone randomly filming on their cell phone. Ridge
I wonder
Holland,
if they'll ever pay that off.
Ridge Holland chokes Joaquin Wilde after Ridge was talking to Ava, and I'd forgotten that. Remember, he accidentally slammed Raul Mendoza. His new name is
Cruz del Toro.
Slammed his hand in the door. So I guess this was Wilde confronting Ridge and getting thrown into the wall. And I guess the point is Ridge has shifted to violent and unapologetic? Or, like, is he still blacking out? Like, basically, it's a whole bunch of I don't care piled onto each other at this point.
Well, I'd argue it's I don't care piled on. I don't know.
That, too. It's not quite clear, and I'm pretty sure I don't care. So Ariana Grace is taking Gigi Dolan out shopping for a dress. We've circled back around to that now. She's very critical of Dolan's current look. She says, think of the body.
But Dolan's just being herself.
Think of the body as a canvas. The way she dresses now is a horrifying vision, and they want to strive for universal peace. All they need to do is change Gigi's attire and soften her attitude. She'll look like Grace in no time. Grace is awesome in this. And then off this first segment, I actually thought Dolan was a little bit charming, not being the mean girl and playing off of Ariana Grace. So I was like, could there be Braun Corbin-like chemistry here? Because I feel like this is going towards tag team. I feel like this is going odd couple tag team. That's the vibe I'm getting.
If it helps out Gigi, then.
And I think it's incredible how good Grace is. She wasn't even coming off as a heel here. It's kind of weird, but she was really, really good. Anyways, unfortunately, the segments were not as interesting after this. Ridge Holland beat Joaquin Wilde in a 4-minute match. Wilde got a bit of offense, but Ridge then just crushed him with a clothesline on the apron and took over. Sean Spears came out to watch from the ramp. One more flurry from Wilde, but Ridge catches a dive, hits a power slam on the floor, and then back in the ring, his cradle DDT for the win.
Northern Great.
Yeah, that's right. I think Wilde deserves better than this. They could have used a PC kid for this instead of having... But anyways. And Spears' character is just terrible. I can't... Like, he just stood on the apron. He's in, like, a vest, and he just looks silly to me. Anyways. So, does this make sense to you? Briggs is backstage with, like, the medical guy. The medical guy is like, yeah, you broke 2 ribs in that match with Femi and Dijak, but you're cleared. So he's going to go out and wrestle Ivar
Broken ribs.
with 2 broken ribs. So he is all taped up.
Seems unwise.
So Ivar comes in and he says that he wants the next shot at Obafemi. And then he's like, when I beat Femi, I'll just give you a chance to face me because you need time to heal. And Briggs obviously is like, hell no. And he tells Ivar to go back to Raw and get his ass kicked by Sheamus again. So Ivar obviously suggests that he and Briggs have a match to settle it. And then basically, I guess it becomes a number 1 contender match. And Briggs is like, go put on your face paint. Sorry. So fine, solid segment. TikTok workout with Reese Blade and Anafe. Really bad audio.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like Cross and AOP.
There's something about AOP. I couldn't really tell. I hope these videos aren't a trend because it's just like going off cell phone audio.
Oh, yeah.
And as a person who now loves audio, it bugs me. Andre Chase and Thea Hale. They meet up sort of privately backstage to talk about last week. Chase does admit that what JC Jane was saying was true and that he believed Thea could win and decided to risk it all and bet on her. But then he had to throw in the towel because she was suffering and he couldn't watch her cry anymore because he wanted her to be okay. Thea asks why he didn't say anything about it. He says he didn't want her to feel bad. Thea says she's sorry. She doubted his belief in her and gives him a hug, basically. So I guess all's right with Chase U. And Thea learned a valuable lesson to be yourself. I said, like, it feels like an 80s sitcom that they stretched out
it's
over,
it's like episodic because like
everybody learned, a lesson from this. So that's all lovely. So here's where Jack is home from work. The family are in the ring. We referred to this earlier in news. The crowd seemed a little disinterested in this to start. Stax and Luca are ready to add some gold, I guess. And Tony's saying that Rizzo is the future of the NXT women's division.
What?
So thankfully, I said Dempsey interrupts pretty quickly with Kemp and Bourne in tow, not really even making the connection that Gulak's not there at this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tony thinks Dempsey owes him for... here's my notes in the moment. Tony thinks Dempsey owes him for something. He likes the Heritage Cup. Bit of back and forth and a brawl because I didn't really know what was happening.
I hate that D'Angelo's anywhere near the cup. That just seems like such a wild mismatch to me. That's almost as bad as having Von Wagner go for it.
And then I'm like, this was super confusing, but I guess Gulak is gone. Yes, he is.
Yeah.
So I just need Tony D to go away at this point. Like he makes it impossible for other people to interact with him without looking
It's
silly.
really tricky because Dempsey's like super serious and he's
right,
not
and
at all.
this guy's a detractor.
Mm-hmm.
More debt stuff that they've already done with a cartoon character playing the heavy. It's bad. I don't like it. Dragunov open challenge. So a whole bunch of people are like jostling at ringside to get in.
24/7 style.
And it wasn't what I expected. I thought Evans was going to fly over all the group of guys, but he jumps from the other side of the ring. I thought they're all standing there holding their position, and he's going to fly over them, but he didn't. So I was like, oh, anticlimactic.
They wheel in a trampoline.
But anyways, this kid is 19 years old, eh?
Really? Wow. Like Tyler Bate kind of thing.
So the crowd is super behind him.
That's crazy.
Javon Evans, I'm talking about. And he's good, I think. Like, this match only got about 6 minutes, but I was impressed with him. He countered the Constantine special into his Spanish fly for a nice near fall. And he just, yes, he's really bouncy and flies around, but I don't feel like that's all he's doing already. And that's like twice seeing him.
I saw like his flippy finisher on scripts didn't look great.
No.
But other than that, from what I've seen, he looks interesting.
Dragunov had a big anti-air chop and a vicious knee, a Death Valley driver in the corner, and then he hits Torpedo Moscow to win after 6 minutes. But I thought this was a fun little match, and this kid's impressive, and he's already connected with the crowd, right? So I thought this was a really good use of him. He looked good in the 6 minutes he got here, and the new regime has to be okay with his body type, but now knowing he's 19, like he'll fill in, right? Because he's really
Nick
lanky.
Wayne.
Yeah. So he'll fill in. Lola Vice interrupts, what's her face? Petrovich. Carmen says she'll be in Natalia's corner. Vice says that won't help, something along those lines. We're going to get a contract signing at spring break for their underground match. And I guess this is Vice getting some attention, right? Because I do like her and I think they can elevate her sort of further, but I'd rather see her do something else. And then I have even Jack says he'll go out of his way to watch this underground match for the wrong reasons, obviously.
For all the wrong reasons.
Yeah. Saul Ruka's with Ava. She wants to end Davenport and not just another match. She wants no DQ at spring break-in.
Which will be a beach brawl.
And I think you were like, ooh, her delivery wasn't great.
Her delivery wasn't great. And then also just the fact that it's called a beach brawl when you're like, I want to end her. And then you call it a beach brawl. Just come on.
She can't quite let go of the surfer thing. She's like just hanging on to it somehow. Tatum Paxley beat Thea Hale in about 3 minutes. And again, commentary are talking all about how creepy Paxley is. They recap her segment from earlier. They don't even mention Thea Hale at all. So clearly Paxley is going to be a focal point. Yeah.
Well, I mean, she's getting in a title match already.
Exactly. So. And I think she's okay. So Jasmine Nix and JC Jane get involved.
I remember she was like the random one trying to get in Diamond Mine for no reason.
That's right. She was. That spawned the heel turn, I think.
Yeah, and then she was just randomly gothic though.
Yes, she was. Paxley wins with a roll-up. Hale tries to get at JC Jane, but they're separated. Lyra attacks Paxley, meanwhile, in the background, sort of in the ring. And it's so really fast match to further both stories. So they killed 2 birds with 1 stone. I don't really have a problem with it. It wasn't really a match per se. Then Ava's with Roxanne. Roxanne calls Tatum a freak and refers to Lyra as Tatum's girlfriend. So interesting couple of slightly inappropriate insults right there. She wants to watch them fight each other, and the winner might get a title shot. She's doing Ava's job, and it's easy. And then Ava walks in and says, nope, instead it's going to be a triple threat match. So that's what we're going to get. Kind of works, I think, because Roxanne's been going on about losing the title the first time without being pinned. So now Ava's like, you're running your mouth. I'm putting you in another match where that could happen again. So I was okay with that little detail, right? Inafe and Blade took on AOP. And my note, average main roster team destroys an emerging NXT team in 3 minutes. AOP catch one of the faces dive, then throw him into the other one, super collider, and it's over. I guess AOP were made to look dominant here. And Inafe, Blade, and Reese kind of have this gimmick where they lose all the time but stay positive. So have fun with that one. It's like the opposite of, how we're always like, Undertaker must have the best gimmick. He can just no-sell things and pop back up. Meanwhile, these guys just get killed and
but they have to be happy.
Yeah, and love it. Fun gimmick. Gigi and Grace are now in a store looking at dresses. Grace finds one. Gigi hates it. Grace is not, again, being super clear here. She, honestly believes she's helping Dolan or something here, right? So anyways.
Could be delusional.
Dolan goes in the change room and all we hear is ripping and snipping, and of course she's modified the dress to look more goth or whatever, alternative,
more herself, because she's always herself.
But I didn't like this because then she's like, yep, I will take this dress now, and Grace pays for it. But that's not honoring the stipulation.
Yeah,
that's you doing stuff for you.
Yeah.
So I was kind of hoping off the first segment it was gonna go that Dolan sees something and she doesn't you know what I mean? But it's basically no, she's getting over on, which I liked less. Ivar versus Briggs. Summary here, main roster mid-carder quickly defeats an NXT guy in his first singles push.
I mean, at least Ivar's cool.
Yes, he is. I was hoping for a longer competitive match at least. I have no problem with Ivar winning. I just wasn't, it was 4 minutes or whatever, something like that. Femi watches backstage. Ivar hits a moonsault after 4 minutes. Femi thinks
he calls it the doom salt, which is funny.
Femi thinks it's interesting, knocks down Mensa as he leaves the locker room. Main event cage match. You watch that with me. What would you say? Right? I thought it underwhelming.
Really, just middling for this big blow off.
Considering the build, and they're blowing it off, and it is a stipulation.
And it's kind of Mello passing the torch, because I feel like he has to be done after this.
I think
he'll
so
get
too.
drafted.
And it was only 12 minutes. I don't think these guys have good chemistry, and that's weird to say.
I think that lays a lot on Trick though, because I saw Meltzer take a lot of heat for saying Trick can't wrestle, and people were like, no, he's over. And Meltzer
he's over, but
Meltzer never said he wasn't over. Meltzer
right, over and good wrestling are not the same.
I've been saying that too.
Hulk Hogan was over more than anyone ever.
He can't wrestle.
Can't wrestle a lick.
But Trick, over as hell. His entrance is always electric. He's got some charisma about him, and sometimes he's good on the mic. But when you put him in the ring, he's not good. Dragunov made him look good, but Meltzer's even saying Dragunov's one of those dudes, And
that's what I was saying to you, that Mello. We love Mello, but that's the tier he's not at, where there have been times where not every match, he's not like Ospreay and Danielson and Gunther.
Omega,
where every match is going to be good no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
There's been times with Braun, I think I didn't love some of the chemistry. But anyways, this was underwhelming to me.
I don't think it's Mello doesn't always have chemistry, but I think a lot of it's just Trick's not. It's a tricky spot, and pun intended.
Yeah.
Because, with his popularity, you have to do something, but you can't.
I know.
I saw he's not planned to be in the draft, which means he's probably beating Dragunov next week.
Yikes. I think he's fine
at
North American title.
That's what I was thinking. But the thing is, then you also have to push Femi right now. And so like
I almost feel like he's more ready for the main title.
Femi probably, yeah.
That's crazy.
I think Femi
That
could.
dude's pretty good.
Think Femi, like, he might not be fully ready for the main title, but I think he could do a lot better with it than Trick will. Because Trick, like, I think
Trick is solid at best right now, but that's not
consistent.
meshing with
It's
the
not
level they
consistent
want
either.
him at.
Yeah, and like I think with his level of popularity, you do have to push him, but with his in-ring work, he's not ready to like
Not
carry the load when
No.
Dragunov and Mello go, because
I agree.
Dragunov and Mello are gone. Breaker's gone.
Yeah.
And like, I guess that doesn't leave you a lot of great options, but like Trick is not NXT title ready.
And not Tony D in the role he's in.
No.
In ring, I think he's fine.
He's kind of the opposite.
Yeah.
And like, other than them, I don't know who else you can go to. Like Femi, maybe.
I preferred the opener to this main event.
I would even say, like, I'm sure he's small or whatever, but Dar would be a far better champion.
I wish they'd do that.
Than Trick Williams.
He'd be so entertaining.
Like Dar, or I don't know. Like, there's so many other ways you could go, and I just don't think Trick's
like
ready at
Dijak's
all.
awesome in ring, but I don't know, character-wise.
Give
Although
Dijak
it's
a manager
NXT, so
and
you
it's
could
like-
try.
Yeah, like, and honestly, I would rather them give a Dijak a chance than Trick, because like, yeah, just like there's two big matches out of a big feud that's been built up for months and months and months,
kind of like,
and it just fell flat.
I agree. Okay, TNA. I told you my goal was to get it in under 3 minutes, so here we go. 2 squashes to start. Hammerstone squash Guido. Henry beat LSG. Remember? I don't know if you remember him. I used to watch him in Ring
He was
of
on
Honor.
ROH. Yeah.
Yeah. I still think they're doing a good job with Hammerstone. Cardona's hurt, so he won't be able to help Delander beat Grace at Rebellion. So Grace knows that Delander will have something up her sleeve, so Grace hints that she has something as well. So I'm wondering if that's someone showing up to second her.
Jazz or...
I was like, Gresham?
Gail Kim.
Can we start some kind of thing there? Although he's doing other stuff.
Yeah,
that
if he wasn't doing his own thing, then maybe, actually. But that would arguably even make more sense if Cardona was still there.
Yes, you're right. It would.
So
less sense now. Diener's super annoying in his new babyface role. He's just really, really panders. Jake Something, and Rhino lost to Mustafa Ali and GYV in a decent match. It wasn't bad.
just saw some clip of GYV against Time Splitters from the Dusty Cup. Remember the one time Shelly showed up in NXT? Like, GYV used to be so good.
Yes, they are good. They're still good.
Like, just pre-dyad.
Yes, pre-dyad for sure. Eric Young talks about the sickness to himself in a mask. So, I mean, we're doing the whole sickness thing again.
Full Metal Sickness.
That was the Violent by Design stuff. And like, I don't know. I think I've just had enough of EY at this point because this isn't doing anything for me. Jody Threat beat Rosemary. Didn't think it was great. It's one of those, their teams are facing for the titles at Rebellion, so they have a singles match here. Rosemary has go away heat for me. Threat is fine. Third installment of the Gresham in group therapy. Basically, he's realized that life is a costume party and he's been showing up with his real face, but not anymore. And then the same guy that they zoom way in on and you just see his grills is talking about humiliation and something else. And then there's a jagged cut to Gresham sitting on a park bench beside himself in a octopus mask, which this was kind of cool, but they just did this with Eric Young. He was literally talking to himself in a mask. So anyways.
That's what he meant by talking to himself.
So these segments are still grabbing my attention, even though I still don't really know where they're going or like what role this guy in the grills, because it always starts with the therapist speaks, ask Gresham a question. Gresham answers the question that's basically like, I have to hide my real self from the world. And then this other zoomed in person saying like, so I don't know.
It would have to be someone notable if they're hiding.
I told you it looked like Swerve with the grills and the facial hair. So I'm hoping it's somebody cool, but I have no idea who it is. But I'm interested at least. And then in the main event, the main event match, the System defeated the Machine Guns in it. Got a lot of time. Pretty good match.
I mean, I've heard Machine Guns are all elite bound. Maybe this is their...
It felt that way.
On the way out.
Like they're putting the System over on the way out.
Machine Guns haven't been really teaming lately, so I thought it was an odd choice to throw them into a tag title match.
And they just last week, the promo was like, oh, we're better off together. I'm sorry. Anyways, Alicia got involved. Roster cut, Boston Knee Party, and the System won. I was probably the last match for the Guns, depending on the taping schedule and whatnot, right? And the show ended with Nemeth coming out to pander a little bit before Moose comes out. Kind of deja vu. He's calling Nemeth a choker and being like, whenever you get the ball, you run with it a little bit, but you also fumble, sort of thing. Nemeth is like, mind games aren't going to work. He actually said, you think you're going to be facing Dolph Ziggler.
I saw that. I was like, oh.
But you're facing Nick Nemeth, which is different because
he's wanted.
Because I ripped off a nice heavy metal shirt and had a TNA shirt. That's how you know. He's like, that's how you know. Right? So anyways, Does Nemeth win at Rebellion? I think so. I don't know. They've been
Probably.
the system's been a big deal too.
System's kind of new, but like
I don't think you brought Nemeth in to not give him the title
yeah,
quickly.
I feel like that's like them trying to bring it back. So like Next will be the one where they're gonna try to bring
Yeah,
themselves back, but they probably won't because
right.
TNA is kind of just treading water.
They are. That's it. Do we have anything else? I guess nothing.
A little
from
bit of SmackDown.
Oh, you do. Go ahead.
The one main thing was the new belts, which I have just even again. I don't know if it'll work, but it's there, right there. This thing, it's nice. I love these
Just
belts
brightness.
a lot more. Okay,
Yeah.
I thought so.
They are nice.
But it's worth a shot. These ones are like you can look on their website. It's a lot more inspired by the classic world tag titles that everyone would remember, or the SmackDown tag belts
like
of the Ruthless Aggression era. I like it because it's got some personality to it. I did see someone say I wish I had like maybe some coloring on it.
Yeah.
Just because like the champions banner, like the world champion banner on the Raw ones has some red on it. Not saying it has to be blue for SmackDown, but just like some color to add some personality to it because it's just gold and black, kind of like the Intercontinental belt.
Right.
But anyways, it looks really nice because it's got some shaping to it. It's even got like, because now they have to have the belts with the custom side plates, obviously, so they have that.
Yeah.
But these ones even have like small secondary side plates because any of the belts that have custom side plates, they're always, that's the only side plate on the side. So this one's interesting. I like this one because it looks a lot more like a championship belt, and
They're
just
cool.
like it's got some more something to it instead of just being like this round, circle, and then like. So I really like it. It looks really nice.
too.
And Theory and Waller got those. They're facing the Street Profits, which is lame, and the new catch in the green and gold. It just I see Pete Dunne in the green and gold, and I think
flashbacks.
I think of Butch.
Yep.
Every time, because that was my preferred look for Butch. Was like I remember even the one time when he was in the Heritage Invitational, he wore the green and gold, and I just associate that look with Butch. So I hate that new catch is wearing that color scheme. So I see it and I'm just like, it is Pete Dunne. I'm glad they're referring to him as Pete Dunne.
Brings back some pain.
It brings back pain because like new catch had like the blue and burgundy color with like the gold tint, and like that was decent because at least Butch never wore that.
Yeah.
Like if Pete Dunne wore black and orange, I would be concerned because Butch.
Taz wouldn't let him.
He already did.
It's his signature brand.
That was when he faced Dar.
Right.
Other high spot was in Styles beat Knight to get a title shot against Cody at Backlash. I'm glad they're doing something substantial with Styles. He hasn't had like a main title feud in a long time, so that's cool.
I watched like 5 minutes of SmackDown. They got the entrance of that, and then that's
cool.
where I paused. Yeah.
It's a little lame they ran back a Mania match so soon, but that's minor.
Yeah, that's fine. It's a placeholder challenger, I'm sure.
Yeah, it is. But I like that it's at least AJ. Like,
yeah.
He's cool.
And that's all you had?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll get into the next thing where we will preview a pay-per-view. I can still say that.
You're still allowed to say that.
That I'm pretty excited about, and that's taking a look at tomorrow night's AEW Dynasty. All right, I'm going to let you drive here for this one. I did put thought into it and even sent you a shot of one of mine.
You did.
See if we pick the same order of them. Go ahead.
Kick off with the 0-hour matches, which first is Bullet Club Gold versus the Acclaimed to unify the AEW World Trios and ROH World Six-Man Tag Team Championships. That's a mouthful. It has to be Bullet Club Gold. You have to put gold on them, all of it.
Gold on gold?
Yep. If they lose here, it's all been for nothing. The weeks, maybe even months of suffering through Bang Bang Scissor Gang, Bullet Club Gold winning meaningless belts, White getting chumped by Billy Gunn, that's all for nothing if Bullet Club Gold don't win here. I'll go on a limb and even say Mr. Stray Bullet makes a return for the assist.
Ooh. Oh, yeah. Cool.
I want him back dearly.
Yeah.
But they have to win nonetheless. I like they have to. It's non-negotiable. And then we start bringing about the Trios Renaissance.
Right. I also am taking Bullet Club Gold. Obviously, they need to reward them for being put in this situation.
Yeah. Plus, they're phenomenal when they are done right.
And full heel Bullet Club Gold with the Trios titles could reinvigorate the division. And I hope it does because we want that division really bad.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree.
0 hour continues. We got Trent Bra and Matt Sydal. I figure heel Trent has to start off strong. And when does Sydal need to win ever? He probably loses more than Brian Keith. So
there's zero chance.
I picked Trenty Locks for the win.
I didn't even have that one on my table, but it is 100. Has to be Trent, obviously.
Yeah. So good for Trent.
Yep.
Cassidy and Shibata against Shane Taylor Promotions, not Ogogo. So it's Moriarty and Taylor. I'm taking Cassidy and Shibata. I feel like Shane Taylor Promotions got that tainted win over Shibata and Lionhook the other week, so Shibata should get one back. And they don't really need a win.
No,
So
I
I could
agree.
see Moriarty eating the pin at least just to protect Taylor at least.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't even have that one on my list either, but it definitely feels like they're not going to have Shibata lose again on even though it's the pre-show or whatever. Yeah. I agree.
Then we got Hook versus Jericho for the FCW title. Yikes. All I wrote was, if Jericho wins, I shut off the show and I'm walking away, and I'm only half joking.
Oh, so you're taking Hook.
I don't want. I swear to God, if Jericho wins,
This one I don't really know.
I swear to God.
Um.
So help me God, if Jericho wins, I'm done.
Okay, I'll take Jericho just so we have a different pick. I think
I don't think it's impossible, but I just refuse to pick that.
Via shenanigans, probably. Well, almost definitely.
Yeah.
But
I could see it happening. Maybe that's the only way this is different, but like
Taz turns and helps Jericho.
I don't see that. I see shenanigans from Jericho, but it's to the point where sometimes I get to a match where I'm like, I'm not saying it's not gonna happen. I just refuse to pick it.
Yeah.
There's no universe where I'm willingly picking Jericho to win. I just don't want to.
No, I know.
Then we get Julia Hart, Willow Nightingale for the TBS title. I feel like Hart's time has kind of come up with the title. Willow seems primed for a feud with Monet, so at the very least, she's a transitional champion. I feel like Hart's run has fell flat from the initial popularity she had, and Willow is super over right now, I think she deserves it.
Yeah, they finally seem to be getting behind Willow like I've been wanting them to for a long time.
For sure.
And I think we can agree that Hart's reign, she has developed a character out of it, but I think the reign itself has been lackluster.
Yes.
And she's had it for quite a while, and then Monet has to turn heel and feud with Willow for that title.
Yeah, for sure.
Easy. Done. Yep, Willow wins.
Okay. Then we move on to Strong versus O'Reilly for the international title. And as much as I love him, I don't think I can really picture Kyle winning here. I feel like Roddy hasn't had it crazy long because it's been like a month-ish since Revolution. And I feel like we could build someone better to beat him. I think if the build had been stronger, pun intended, or pun unintended actually, when I was writing that, then maybe I could buy Kyle here. Like if you had done like a longer build with more emphasis on their friends or history as friends, then I could see it. But I feel like Kyle's still fresh in, like he needs some more steam behind him. I feel like
I agree
because maybe not like you said, not everyone's aware of this feud.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say Roddy retains for now at least.
You said picture Kyle, and at first I thought you said pick Sir Kyle, and I was like, when was he knighted?
No.
I expect lots of involvement from the Kingdom, but I think O'Reilly loses his first match via shenanigans, and
that's okay.
Because I don't think they're taking the title off Roddy, and they can go somewhere with that from there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Next we got Copeland, Kingston, and Briscoe against House of Black. I don't have any strong feelings about this, so I just wrote the House always wins.
Nice. I think House of Black never win anything important. This match doesn't feel important.
But Briscoe takes pins though.
So that's what I'm saying. I think they win. Feels like,
all right,
and it feels like Malachi is coming after Copeland, right?
Oh, give him that. I
think it's to get him momentum to go there.
That.
So I'm thinking House of Black actually gets a win.
Yep. Then we get Okada versus Pac for the Continental title, which is always Continental rules.
Could be a banger.
I really want Pac to win.
But
I would really like Pac to win. Pac is fantastic, and I want more Pac. That being said, Okada's winning, no doubt.
Yeah, all those things.
It's not.
And it should be an awesome match.
It should be awesome.
Pac's amazing. Okada in big matches delivers. So, but Pac's not winning.
Yeah, agreed.
Sadly.
Storm Rosa women's title. I'm taking Storm. Not a fan of either of them. But it's the lesser two evils. And on a more serious note, I just don't feel like Rosa's been legitimately built up to dethrone Storm. It just kind of like how I feel about Kyle O'Reilly. It just doesn't feel like it's been substantial enough.
The first part of mine is I don't feel there's been enough build of Rosa to put the title on her here.
Regardless of my personal feelings about her, which we don't like her, I legitimately don't feel like I see it coming. Because even like we saw it with Baker.
Yeah.
I also did like her back then.
Yeah.
Just still.
And we saw it with Rosa the first time.
Yeah.
That she was going to get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Purrazzo's going to cost Rosa the win.
I could see that.
Hopefully she turns heel. And then she can feud with Rosa for a bit and wins that feud. And we at FNS here seem to be down on Storm more than almost anyone, but I don't see her winning or losing the title here.
No.
Yeah.
Then we get Ospreay versus Danielson. Oof.
Ooh,
I'm taking Ospreay Osprey's momentum has been skyrocketing ever since he rocked up against Takeshita. And the time for a loss has not come yet. I was saying maybe against Takeshita later. But also what helps me with this is Danielson's proven to be a very selfless performer.
It's what he wants to do.
You
right
know
now.
he wants to put Osprey
He
over
does.
here. So I fully believe he had no problem with losing to Osprey, who's like the future guy in the company. Not like a future. I think he's like a future the guy
Yes,
in
he
AEW.
is.
So I fully believe Danielson is not okay with this, but probably happy to do this, just to even have the match. And like, because I know he doesn't want a title, he doesn't need to win, and I think that's something he would say.
Danielson admits he's on the way out. He understands this guy's on the way in and is the future.
Exactly. He would understand that, and I know he'd
So
be
instead of
he would
being
do
bitter
this.
and resentful that this guy's stealing his spot, he's
Jericho,
like,
maybe.
I'm gonna help this guy.
Danielson's like the anti-Jericho at this point,
He's
because
the
Jericho
best.
should be on the way out, but he's not. He thinks he's helping people, but he's not.
Yep.
Danielson's on the way out. He is actually helping people,
So
and he's trying to.
Osprey isn't losing an important match yet. Danielson doesn't care if he wins or not. He's here to have great matches and put people over. And he will do both here.
It could main event if they really wanted to, but I think Swerve deserves the final moment.
I think they need to have this not butting up against the main event too.
Absolutely. You need
We
some.
need a
You need a
breather.
buffer at least. I say.
Could be the women's championship. I want
You
that
gotta do
division
it
to
to
be
him.
awesome, but
Okay, but here's the thing.
because you can say
It's different if it was like, let's say, Peraza against someone I like, but since I already don't care about this match, I say you throw him to the Wolves.
and it's the perfect spot too because you're saying that the women's championship is the next.
Yeah, you can make that excuse, you know. Then we get FTR versus Young Bucks in a ladder match for the vacant tag titles. Might be going on a limb, but I think we kind of talked about it, so I'm calling it. Scapegoat returns.
Agree.
And the Bucks take the win.
Exact same.
Okay.
I have Jungle Boy shows up, helps the Bucks, and he joins the Elite.
So
And
I like
so
that.
does Mercedes or Monet at some point.
We get that soon.
Hopefully.
But yeah, so I think I'd like to see what Jack Perry does there.
Me too.
I think it'd be an
I'm
interesting
intrigued.
faction with Okada and Perry and Monet and the Bucks. And hey, you want to say a lot of factions are race related? That's diverse. That's
Yeah,
decently
that's
diverse
true.
because Monet's, I think she's part black, right? Because I
Yep.
think what was it? Her and Blair had the first black women
Yep.
main event,
Yep.
right? And then
She is a
there's
woman of
Bucks
color.
and Perry, and then there's Japanese Okada. So that's a bit of a it's a collective. So I would like that.
Like
and
Canada salad bowl,
exactly,
as they say.
And I'm willing to give Jack Perry another chance
Me
because
too.
we didn't love his other heel run. I wanted to try it with him, but like it wasn't great.
Yeah.
But I would like to see what his work in Japan has brought. You know.
And even if he's just 100% leaning into the Punk stuff, I don't. If he's
No,
a
I
heel
agree
and
with
it
that.
makes Punk
It
mad,
makes me
I'm fine
love
with
Drew
it.
McIntyre.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
we'll see how it goes. Yeah, if anyone's leaning into the Drew McIntyre playbook, I'm not gonna complain.
Nope.
Main event, what has to be the main event. Samoa Joe defending the AEW World Title against Swerve Strickland. I think the time has undoubtedly come to crown Swerve. I think putting it off to Hero Post Revolution was appropriate to like kind of play into the Hangman Swerve thing and give Joe more time because Joe is fantastic.
Yes.
More time in the spotlight was totally deserved. But Swerve must be crowned here. He's still at his career high in terms of popularity. I think the trigger must be pulled. I think he deserves a good amount of time as champion, but I'm also a firm believer that Ospreay should be winning it at All In. And because I think you could say, yeah, you could win it All In 2025, but I think that might be pushing it too long because Ospreay, like I said, he's the guy.
Yeah.
The time for Swerve to get like a lengthy enough run in before All In is running out, right? Because I think like 5 months ish,
Yeah.
like because not. We've had a lot of year-long runs, so if Swerve and Joe aren't crazy long, I think it's okay.
And it's that sweet spot where Joe's has been long enough and Swerve's can be long enough.
And then Ospreay could
to
have
be
a mammoth run,
respectable. Yeah.
right? Like, I think there's a small chance that Hangman screws him, like you mentioned. But I think the only right move is Swerve as champion. You have to pull the trigger, otherwise, like I think I worry if you wait any longer, it's not gonna be the moment it deserves to be.
I kind of love this because not only do I not know what I'm going to get, I don't even fully know what I want.
I agree.
I don't know
Like-
what I want.
Like I said, the biggest
Like,
compliment
'cause-
we can give Joe is that I almost don't want Swerve to win.
And if it's because they're getting that whole page will not let Swerve touch that title, I kind of think that's cool.
I do, but at the same time, I think Swerve deserves
Especially
it too
because
much.
they've given us a little time to forget about it. It's suspicious to me. Page has been nowhere
He
to
did
be
at
seen for a
he did
little
want
bit.
to take time off, so there's
So-
legitimate reason. But it has to be Swerve. I'm not gonna waver.
I'm still taking Swerve. My confidence isn't super high. Again, calling him a choker, saying he never can win the big one. I don't feel
but then
like he's-
Hangman could also call him a choker, you know?
Right.
So like I'm not gonna
And
waver.
then Swerve can be like, I'm not a choker. You saw I had Joe dead to rights if that's how they work it, right?
Yeah.
But anyways,
But I
I'll
think,
take
like,
Swerve.
there's been
But I
some
love the
times where
intrigue.
AEW is accused of not pulling the trigger at the right time.
Yeah.
And I think they need to do it. This is one of those times where it must be done.
Yeah. We'll see. Either way, I'm going to be happy, I guess, right? So that's cool.
I guess so.
I'm going to end this show happy either way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You said there was nothing really update from figures. So that's going to wrap up episode 196. My hope is that we love, and there's a chance, right? We love Dynasty so much that
It
we want to
looks that way.
sit down and review it maybe early in the week, Monday or Tuesday, if we have time, depending on your schedule and mine and how we feel about it. We could try and do that. But anyways, we'll definitely be back for 197. It may include that. We may have already put it out there. But if you're subscribed or following or whatever you need to do, which we would appreciate, you'll know anyways. And we'll definitely see you back here next Saturday for 197. And until then, everybody, take care.